and for the session 7. And on behalf of management, principal, organizing committee, uh, faculty members, and participants, I welcome you, sir. So, the sir will be giving the lecture on AI in drug discovery. So, I request uh, persons to give welcome address. I request Dhaneshri to give a welcome address, please. Any network issue?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay, come, please.
Good evening, everyone. It gives us great delight to welcome you all to the AICTE sponsored 6 days faculty development program organized by Jai Shakti Engineering College, Tirunendravoor. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker, Dr. K.M. Kumar. Dr. M. Kumar holds a PhD in Bioinformatics from VIT University, Vellore, along with an MPhil in Bioinformatics with a medical biotechnology background from Bharathidasan University, Trichy, and an MSc in Bioinformatics from Tiruvallur University, Vellore. He also holds a BSc in biochemistry with microbiology from KMG College of Arts and Science, University of Madras. His outstanding contributions to research have earned him numerous awards, including the Young Researcher Award 2024 and Travel Grant Award 2024, the Proud Alumni Award 2023, and the Outstanding Young Researcher Award 2019 at the International Conference Horizon 2019. With over 18 years of rich teaching and research experience, Dr. Kumar has also served as a scientific session chair at various international conferences, contributing significantly to the field of bioinformatics and biomedical research. We are truly honored to have such a distinguished scholar and researcher among us today. Now, let me hand over the session to Dr. K.M. Kumar to enlighten us with his valuable insights. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dhaneshri, for your wonderful welcome and introduction of Dr. Kumar, sir. Thanks. Thank you once again. I request Dr. Kumar, sir, to take over the session.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Um, can I share that? Actually, host is disabled.
Yeah,
Can you enable? Yeah.
yeah, I will enable.
Could you make me as a co-host?
Now it's okay, sir.
Yeah, now I'm getting it.
Okay.
I hope it is visible.
Visible, sir. It is visible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good evening to all. First, I'd like to thank Professor Rajesh sir for
Thank you,
this
sir.
wonderful opportunity and this the the topics that you have preferred for this FTP. And also, I'd like to thank for this warm welcome, and also thanking the management of Jai Shakti Engineering College for this wonderful the event that I've allowed to organize. Also, I just thank the AICT and giving a good platform for share our insights and explore our skills and all those things, and to spread out our knowledge in a drug discovery or in the science. Yeah. So, in case in between, if you have any doubt, like you can post in the chat box so that we will have the previous session at the end. Right. So I'm going to talk about today that artificial intelligence drug discovery. So I think a few sessions you have attended, all of you, then you have some understanding about the artificial intelligence. But my part is how this artificial intelligence works in drug design and the discovery part. So we know that actually the computers have a crucial role in drug discovery. Even though the computers have crucial role, then the some techniques or some technologies are important in drug discovery these days. So one of the important technology that we are talking about is actually artificial intelligence that we're going to discuss. So since I'm a bioinformatician, that I have used already the computational techniques and computers in drug discovery. And before going to detail about this, the role of artificial intelligence in the drug discovery, let us have a small clarification on these terms, right? So we all know this actually. We have a mixed audience, like people from biomedical, people from the chemist, people from biotechnology, or also computer science, and other people. So I think I feel that actually it is important to know this terms so that we can just move on to the computational things as well as this AI related things. So we can see that we have a three part. That one is in vitro, in vivo, and in silico. What the in vivo the people are doing, the applied science people, the mostly they just work on these in vitro conditions. Like you can see the translates directly to in class. Like they work on some uh, the study the test tubes rather than in the model organisms. So we can see that after that, so they can just get some insights out of it, out of the experiments. After that, in vivo, you can see the same study, some of the studies conducted in living organisms that we can say that is in vivo studies. But what about the in silico studies? Recent days, is last 20 years, last 2, 3 decades, if you see exactly that last 2 decades, if you look at it, the in silico studies are more, in silico researches are more, the in silico biologists actually ruling a lot of R&D works and the P&D works, like product and development, right? You can see that things, the same kind of experiment can be done in computer as well. That's a thing that everybody want to know that actually. Right. So suppose can we design a model or can we have a physiological conditions or can we have a living organism model in the computer? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. That's what we're going to discuss it today. Because how the AI works in this computational science, it's because of this in silico experiment, right? So the computer started uh, involving in this biological research, right? So there are so many people that started using these computers in biological research and medical science as well, right? So that's called in silico research because we use the in silico, the processors like silicon processors to solve many medical and biological problems, right? So it is called the in silico biology or in silico study or in silico experiment. We use virtual simple computers. We use computer and we do the same kind of experiments in the computer as well. So we have models developed for that. We have algorithms, some softwares are developed that we're going to discuss in detail about it. Right. So if you just look at it, um, so if you just look at this, this is common terms that everybody knows it. I don't want to go in detail about it, right? So we know that actually what is artificial intelligence. Artificial is artificial. It is not natural, right? And also we know that actually it is, yeah. So we can also train system that can think, learn, and make decision like humans, and also the AI will enable computers. Actually, I'm going to discuss in two ways. One is how the computers and drug discovery, also the AI in drug discovery. So AI enabled computers, how it works. These are small clarifications I'm going to give from my talk today, right? So you can see that AI enabled computers to analyze data, recognize patterns, solve problems on input, and so many things we can see. There are three types that we know that narrow, weak AI, the general AI, strong AI, or super intelligent AI, right? Super intelligent AI. Also, we have the one more things that organize AI that is mostly people are talking about these days. They're trying to develop the computer like the brain model. So from the lab, they just grow the brain model. Then after that, they interconnect with this the systems. Then they see that how it works. The organoid AIs is going to be another the part in future, right? That we already discuss here. This is a small description about this AI that we all know that how it works here. Like general AI, so far we are talking about like it has human-like intelligence, can perform many intellectual tasks here, and but super intelligent AI is actually nothing but it will just control that AI. That means it will also oversee that AI how it works. It will upgrade or update, or it's like think like a human. So general AI, it will not think like a human. We just follow the instruction, and whatever the models you develop, it will work according to that. But super intelligence is trying to think, and it will take a decision by its own. So that's a difference between the stronger AI and super intelligent AI, right? And coming to this major application of AI, that we know that there are many things. Every sector nowadays, the computers are involved. One is and also that now everybody's talking about this AI as well, right? So healthcare, education, finance, all those things. We are going to discuss in detail about this healthcare sector, how the AI is actually involved, right? How this technology is implemented in the healthcare department, like especially in the disease prediction, drug designing, or medical image analysis. We're going to discuss in detail about the disease prediction and the drug designing part today, right? There are some why AI is actually needed. If you just look at it, why AI is needed, and you can say that it is faster analysis and reduce human errors and automated repetition task and better decisions. All these things we can see here. Right. Right. Drug discovery. So we said AI in drug discovery or computer in drug discovery. Why artificial intelligence and the computers in drug discovery? Already we have some steps and procedure and experiment that works well. We are getting results and we are getting drugs. Already so many drugs are available in the market, right? But still, why this computer's help is required, or a newer technology, recent advanced technology called AI is important. How it works in this drug discovery and development, that we are going to discuss. Before going to discuss the role of AI in what to say that drug discovery, let's see that what is drug discovery first of all. So if you understand the drug discovery and development, how the drug is reaching out to the medical shop or reaching out to the market, and we are just getting it from the hospital and the medical shops. But before that, reaching to this market, then what and all process it has to process, and all these things we can see once. Then after that, we will see that the role of importance of AI will be understandable clearly. First, we're supposed to identify the disease. After that, we can see that disease means there are some genes and proteins are responsible for this, right? We need to identify those proteins. After identifying the proteins, then we need to isolate those proteins. First, the particular isolate the proteins. That will take 2 to 5 years. Just to identify and isolate a particular proteins are responsible for the disease, it takes 2 to 5 years. After that, for this particular protein, a target protein, we need to find a drug, right? So it will take I guess 2 to 5 years. You can see that again, finding out the target disease target protein, then it takes 5 years. Again, finding out the drug for that particular protein, it takes another 5 years, 2 to 5 years. Then after once you identified the drug, then it has to directly, we cannot use it. It has to go for some preclinical testing. Like we can test it with a rat, mice, or the pig, in that chimpanzee or some other way the people uses in a different lab. So preclinical testing, it will be happening for over of 3 years. Then after that, and the post-clinical trials are there. Preclinical and post-clinical testing. Then you can see the human clinical test. After that, human clinical test trials has happened for 20 years. They'll start giving, if no side effects, no problems, or no toxic to the rat and mice, then they will check it with the human. That will take another 2 to 10 years. Once it is crossed all these levels, then it will go for the FDA approval. That FDA approval itself take 2 to 3 years because they will not give you the approval. Again, they will just cross validate and they cross check all the things about these drugs and finally reach out to the market. You can see that a new drug currently there are 880 million and takes 15 to 60 years to develop. There are some drugs, you can see the one drug to reach out to the markets, it takes almost this many years. Suppose if no drugs are available to treating any diseases, suppose if that disease is spreading out very fast, then if we're taking this like this 10, 15 years for getting a drug, then what will be the situation in the world? You can imagine actually. That will be very pathetic because the disease called pandemic situation we have faced and the disease, deadliest diseases or some dangerous viruses are reaching out to us. So within a year, there are so many mortality. The things rates we can see that increase. And suppose if you're getting a drug like this more than 10 years and 20 years, by the time the situation will be very difficult if you don't have a proper drug at the right time, right? So this is a problem actually. How to overcome this problem? We need a drug. We need to reduce the time. At the same time, we need to get the effective drug, very potential drug, right, to treat the diseases. A number of diseases are coming out daily in the world. The new disease we can see the new viruses coming out, and we don't have a sufficient or exact the potential drug to treat these diseases immediately. It can be a viral diseases, or it can be any genetic disorders, or any other bacterial diseases. The resistancy problem is the other side that I'm not going to talk in detail about the resistancy because the existing drugs become resistant to the diseases, the many viruses, bacteria. That drug itself not working. So we are taking more time to develop a drug. That means more than 10 years to develop a drug for the diseases, to treat the diseases. At the same time, already we have some drugs that become useless and effectless because of the resistancy of the microorganisms, right? So we are in the serious problem, serious situation that we need to find a solution. We need to have a newer and advanced technology so that can help to produce the drug within a time period to treat any diseases, right? In case if you have a pandemic situation or any situation. Already we are facing so many the diseases in the world that we can see that viral diseases and cancer and there are many genetic disorders are there. But for many diseases now we don't have drugs. Suppose if we take time to develop drugs for this particular diseases, obviously it will take more than a year, 10 years. Suppose if we follow this experiment, like this methodology. So we need to have a different the methodology, different the idea, different technology, right? That we can see that here. So you can see that here the screening of compounds, it takes 6.5 years to screen the 15,000 compounds. From that 500 compounds preclinical, clinical test 10 compounds, and after the FDA drugs, one drug will be approved here, right? So it takes actually almost a year that just for screening 15,000 compounds, we're supposed to screen more than the billions of compounds. Billions of compounds you're supposed to screen to get better drugs to treat particular disease, right? But see, for 15,000 compounds only, we are taking this many years, almost more than 10 years, then very difficult for us to identify a new potential drugs here. So what has come just 20 years before the computer-aided drug designing? So to overcome this problem, the many area, the researchers, the R&D, the people, the scientific community, they started applying some newer technologies or advanced resources like computers. So is it possible to implement the computational techniques into the R&D research and development so that we can just get we can get some more the drugs in time, like they just try to reduce the number of years that we are taking up to develop drugs. All these things they try. So the computer-aided drug designing has become an effective tool for the development of therapeutics, and there are different pipelines they developed for these the approaches, and also it helped me a lot actually. So honestly telling, it helped me a lot because being a bioinformatician, I worked on this for more than 15 years working on a computer drug designing as well as other pharmacogenomics related work. Then I could see that actually how fast we are working, that how fast the technology is actually useful, and what way it is helpful to the scientific community to develop drugs. All those things we are discussing it here. And you can see that especially the screening, high throughput screening and the molecular docking, you can see that these two things, molecular docking and the virtual screening for the drug discovery. And we use these two important techniques here. But there is till past 15 to 20 years, we have been thinking that actually the molecular, these are the few techniques, computational techniques are very, very helpful and solving these issues that facing some problems getting a drug in time. But recent days, like few years back, that means that after Corona, if you look at it, the AI is completely ruling out this the computational drug discovery as well, right? So we're going to see that how it works here, and you can see the recent advancement of computers includes computer drug designing approaches include de novo drug designing, receptor-based modeling, pharmacophore modeling. There are so many things, and calculations are there, and also the big data development of many protocol involving machine learning, deep learning methodologies. Then we're going to discuss in detail about it, how it works. So what exactly computer drug designing done it actually? You can see that all this target identification, target validation, this all, why I just put this the steps under this slide, because this all now we are going to now this all can be done it in AI technology, right? So we can do it all these things. Earlier, few years before, like last 15 years, we have been doing all these things with some small softwares, like small programming algorithms, and that is taking some time. But we need that requires a lot of manual analysis, like manual preparation, like preparations and validations and visualization. There are a lot of the manual the work is required when you just use this computer drug listening. Now, when artificial intelligence comes, then it will actually help us to validate and process all this data automatically, then not manually. Then that help you a lot actually. So these are the things that is actually works well past 15 to 20 years, right, for the drug discovery and development, like reverse docking, protein structure prediction, drug ability identify, and there are library additions, and you know what, like pharmacology, and the QSS for the drug activity predictions, and whether the drug is toxic or non-toxic, it may cause any side effects or not, admit property predictions. For all these things, we use small software. There are n number of softwares we have used, but nowadays we need not to rely completely on this small softwares. We have advanced the technology called AI, that will help us to get it done fastly, quickly. So these are the methods that we used: structure-based drug designing and ligand-based drug designing. After that, we can see the binding site identification. We have a separate tool and algorithm for this binding site identification, but now we have a AI-enabled, AI-enhanced tool that helps to identify this drug binding sites in the protein target, disease target protein here, right? And also the QS studies and pharmacophore modeling. There are billions of compound can be screened, but it takes a lot of time. When you use that software like this, some programs and the computers, then it takes a lot of times. Then when you use a billions of compounds, like drugs, it's not a drugs, actually it's kind of compounds, then you need to follow a lot of parameters, like filtering out based on these parameters taking a lot of time, and we may miss out some of the important thing. But when you just train a model, then that will take care of everything. Then it will give us a good selection, the compound selection, and we can just go for a particular lead optimization, we can get it. You can see there's another process how to get that approved drug. In the experimentally, how the drugs are getting approved, that we have seen in the very first slide. Now computationally, using the computers, how the drugs are approved, you can see the structure-based visual screening, and we can see the drug molecules, how these both are interacting. This is the drugs which has this potential to treat this disease, which have a capability of interacting with this disease associated protein. And it will, after that interacting, we just screen with the databases. Is there any other molecules are there? Then we go for a clinical trials. Once identify the best molecule, then we go for a clinical trials, then finally get the approval. And other validatory post analysis, we have done it here computationally. This is structure-based virtual screening. This is ligand-based virtual screening. Both the method we use to identify to get that approved drugs, like some drugs to get approved, right? This is empty simulation and density functional theory. The other analysis we use, like this, many analysis we use it, right, to get it. And you can see that not only that, a drug toxic prediction. We have a compounds, we have a molecules. Whether all the drugs can be used for treating the disease? No, we cannot use it because that may cause side effect in human system. So we need to check whether that human systems or how this, which are all the molecules may cause that side effects and create any issues in the system. We need to filter out all those things. There's a filtering tools are available, right? There are some rules it has to follow, but it taking a lot of time. So uh, to filter out some billions of compounds. Suppose if you have 100 compounds, it's fine. But when you're thinking of the billions of compounds, we need HPC, high performance computing, some supercomputing facility to handle this. But again, you need to follow the lot of parameters. Every time you need to check whether this every parameters are followed properly or not. Then you need to cross validate it. Again, it is a few more the drawbacks we have. It's not a drawback, but it will delay our process. But actually, we need a drug to immediately to treat any diseases. As soon as possible, we need to get some drugs which will uh, uh, which will be used to treat any diseases, right? But if you rely on this computer drug designing, computer drug is very good, but we have a little more powerful than this computer drug designing means we have artificial intelligence because there's so many things we have made it automated. Then it's just taking care of so many parameters and it taking care of so many properties analysis and class validation and taking a decision. And all these things we get the output, the desired outputs there here. And there are some of the tools are available like structure-based drug designing, ligand-based or farm modeling. All these things we have. Some of you can see that it's really a rule-based and mechanistic models. Though we have the fantastic tools that will handle this macromolecular structures which are generated from X-ray and NMR or the drug and protein interactions and simulations. We have excellent software. We are throughout in India. We have been using there's so many softwares and develop our own people have their own software they develop. They're also using the software and ligand-based drug designing also can be done. Though we are doing all these things, and still it's a relies on a rule-based or mechanistic based, right? It's limited by the accuracy of the input data. Like if you look at the accuracy, yeah, we get some good accuracy when compared to the experimental study. When compared to the experimental research, we get some good accuracy in the computer-aided drug designing. But still, we need to have a complete accuracy, that exact the accurate results we want, like 100%, not that 0.5 1% less or 99.5. We need to exact 100% so that it will be good here, right? We need to follow a lot of protocols and a lot of parameters in that that can be taken care. The manual work should be taken care properly because there will be chances of doing human error, getting human error, machine error, software error, and there are a lot of things are there. So also the human expertise is heavily involved in the interpreting results. So how to avoid all these things? So we need to involve software is doing work, even though software is doing job for us, but still our expertise is heavily involved in interpreting the results because we need to do a lot of manual work. That's what I'm just mentioning it here. I'm specifying this. We need to have a lot of manual work here to do that. How to handle, how to overcome this, how to reduce this manual work, how to reduce this human expertise or involved much in this kind of process here. Right? So for that only, we have artificial intelligence technology. Now it's coming up and it is involving the drug discovery. We're going to discuss in detail about it. Same thing, what and all we are doing it in the computer, using the computer. Artificial intelligence is not a system. Actually, computer is a system. It's a technology we are just using into the computer, right? So we can see that here we use the do you know what drug designing? Same the target identification. You can see the target identification. AI predicts a new drug target from the omics and literature data. So first, already some data are available. So from the data, is there anything can be predicted? Any new anything is possibility of getting any target, appropriate target? Yes, it's possible. But if if you use that AI, then we can get it there. And there are some drugs are available, like in the drug data bank. If you go, that FDA approved and FDA non-approved drugs, there are many are there. But if you wanted to work on all this drug, then it is very difficult because you need to follow a lot of the parameters like rule of five and other the absorption, distribution, metabolism parameters, toxicity here. That means there are a lot of human expertise is required. Also, the manual work is more, and you need to oversee all these things, every steps, how properly it is predicted, the tools are giving the results, and the results are okay, and how to filter out. If it is 100 drugs, is fine. Suppose if it is millions of drugs are available, how you're going to categorize it? How you're going to filter out and analyze it and project it? we need a lot of SQL work, all these things here. And the drug repurposing, that means AI finds a new uses for existing drug. And also we have the automated virtual screening. I said, right, virtual screening, isotope screening can be done. Uh, that require a lot of the parameters to follow the filter out the molecules. Here we can see the AI models can screen billions of compounds faster than the physics-based method. Maybe other the isotope screening methods, we say that here. So it follow the properly because the models are trained, and it will just follow already the existing if the features. Based on the features, it will just give us that output, and we're going to discuss in detail about it here, right? And the data driven rather than rule based, and again can see it requires large high quality data sets for training here, right? So if you have a limited data, then we cannot get the accuracy, good accuracy. And if you have more data, so that we can get a good drugs and accurate drugs, the potential drugs to treat the diseases here, right? So now I explained, I'm just started from the experimental research for the drug discovery. Also, I I discussed about computer-aided drug designing, also the role of AI in drug designing, right? Now you can see that there's a small comparison between, because this is the thing that the clarity is actually needed for the people who are working already using a computers in a drug discovery. Nowadays, people are using AI in a drug discovery, right? There's a small differences between these two that we have can discuss this here. You can see that here the docking and QSR and molecular dynamic simulations can be done in a computer. Yeah, the software will do the work faster and quickly. But when you use the machine learning and deep learning and some generative AI, then that will be much more easier. It will be not only the faster, it will be easier to get more clarity on the data, the results are generated, right? And also the results are properly actually developed and like generated, and it is arranged and organized well, such a way that we can develop a models, then we can get the results, all the results properly. And I can see the human role, manual analysis and hypothesis driven. There are manual analysis are required here, but here automated pattern recognition and predictions is done in here, right? And also output molecules evaluated using a fixed algorithm, and also the AI generated optimized drug candidate here. So we have this AI will optimize the drug candidate based on the models we developed here. And some of the softwares we have here, this well-known software, most of the maybe any biotechnology, biomedical students we know that all this thing, Autodesk, Quality Discover Studio. But there are some tools called AI enhanced tools, we can call it is that AlphaFold, DeepChem, Atomwise, and benevolent AI here. These are the tools now nowadays very popular and using the drug discovery process here. Right? So experimental techniques, we thought experimental research, experimental study is actually a traditional method, and it is old, and we have to depend on the computer-aided drug designing. But after the AI is coming into the drug designing, then we are saying that now the traditional computational design guided by the scientific rules, like there are computational designs also, it's guided by some scientific rules are there. But AI drug designing actually learns easily the predicts optimal drug candidates beyond the human institution. Right. And the integration of AI in computers. So we computer integration is very good. CAD is very good. Also, the artificial intelligence is also better than the CAD. Why don't we incorporate this too? When you have this integrated tool like this AI and the CAD, then that will be much more faster and easier, right? That's what we're going to talk about. The slide shows us. You can see that here there are some tools. For example, the CAD uses a BLAST and PDB uniprocessors, but the DeepMind's AlphaFold uses all those things here. These are the computational tools, and this is the AI tools. These AI tools integrated with this BLAST, PDB, and Uniport other databases. Then we can see that it will predict accurate the structure of a disease target protein, and the drug binding site of this particular target protein. All these things have become easier when you just generate or predict the proteins from the AlphaFold here, right? The traditional CAD uses some other sequence and homology to identify drug targets, but the AI enhanced tool like AlphaFold and other things, it uses all the complete the data, genomic data, proteomics data, transcriptomics data, and also to predict the novel or hidden targets using the pattern recognitions and also network biology, right? Using everything, then it will give us accurate results, and we get a good model disease targeting protein model. We can just work on that, right? And the heat identification, not only the protein target, also we can identify the ligand molecules, like any drug molecules can bind to this target protein, which will be developed by this AlphaFold, that we can see that here. And this CAD will help us to do the docking and scoring millions of compounds. but AI pre-filter the compound library by predicting binding probability. So after getting a good score from the CAD, we are saying that these compounds are fitting properly to this binding sites, but it lacks some property, physiological property level, like chemical properties level, physiochemical properties. If it is lacks, then we cannot use that drug. But AI enhanced tool, it will just filter the compounds already, all the compounds based on this the parameters and the admin properties and physicochemical properties, everything it will check and because this reducing the overload for the docking, right? So then we can get it. The tool we have the AI tool. Usually for the CAD we have the Autodoc and Glide and maybe other tools we have here, Squad Engine and other things. But for AI tool we have AutoWise. It uses the convolution neural network to predict the docking curve faster and accurate as well. And a lead optimization, same thing here. And whether the drug is active or inactive, you wanted to know that here. The activity of the drug molecule, if you wanted to know, then the CAD is better, but this AI is enhanced. The tool is actually best. The Insilico medicines, they have this generative AI platform that will design a new drug compounds in a day itself. We needed to wait for years together to get this information whether this molecules has a better activity, it will be a potential molecule for this. We can just get all those things in a days, right? That's what they say. The few days we can just get it here. Also, the ADMET properties. ADMET is nothing but absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, toxicity of the drug molecule, right? So the traditional method, the CAD uses this Lipson's rule of five. It will just check all the rules, whether this drug is obeying this rule or not. It will check. Suppose if a one molecule is fine, but if it go for a billion molecules, it takes a lot of time. Chances of missing out some parameters under some molecules, it will be. It may not calculate some type of molecules if the size is very big. All these issues are there. But here enhanced the tool when you just use it, like they mentioned it's here, Deep Talks and the AdMet Lab. And AI models trained on known drugs predict, right? So it was just trained based on these known drugs and it predicts absorption, metabolism, toxicity of these drugs here. And clinical trials, I said, clinical trials is nothing but if you have a drug, potential drug, we have to check whether the drugs works properly in the system or human rat. Before that, we need to check it with the rat and mice, I said, right? So we need to wait for many years, and we need to kill the rat after you test it. Whether it may work, it may not work. There's a chances of human error and environment error, and all these things were there. And the clinical trial simulation is also possible. We can just create these physiological conditions in the computer itself. We can just using the AI, we can develop this the model, and after that we can just check whether how this drug molecules works. So it's just based on the existing data and the features, then it will check whether this molecules is properly works in this particular disease or not. We can just check it here, right? And CAD is alone, it's limited, slower and moderate, and the AI can hybrid methods that can be used to self-learning, and it's for 10x faster. It is faster, 10 times faster than this other things. We can also explore novel chemical space and all those things we have here. These are the process we can see here. And if you see that here, conventional drug, if you wanted to get it and develop, then it takes $2.6 billion. And suppose if you just use the AI and the computationally designed drugs, it can reduce the cost by 30 to 60%. Imagine where this billions dollar the amount, then here that only the 50 to $500 million, then how this much amount can be reduced in the process of new drug development, right? So academic and other things, they have again list more that, but when coming to the R&D and P&D, then you can see that here because of AI technology, also AI enabled the computational tools, then we get the molecules within this budget, right? Drugs within this budget. Yeah. So now we have seen that experimental method and the computer drug designing and how the AI is actually important and how it works are implemented in computational tools and like. And now we just see that how the artificial and drug designing works. So the 10 to 15 years it's okay, but AI offers automation, prediction, pattern recognition, and reduced time cost while improving accuracy. Not only in the reducing the time, also it improves the accuracy, right? Because of that. The role of AI, if you just see, and it helps in every stage of drug development pipeline. We have a lot of pipelines are developed to the drug development process. Yeah, we have also one pipeline for the pharmacogenomics. And we have here the target identifications. It's a AI analysis genomic and proteomics data to predict the disease target, and deep learning models to predict the binding affinities and reducing lab screening, and AI designing molecules with optimal activity, right? Just for lead optimization, the target identification, lead discovery, and the lead optimization, and the preclinical testing. AI predict this all these properties comfortably and get the good accuracy results. And also we can also do the trial simulations, right? So clinical trial simulations can be done, and it will optimize the trial design, predicts the patient response, and identify the suitable participants, right? Whether this molecules works for this particular patients or not, how the response to these drugs and all those things can be developed. And there are the usually we bioinformatics people, we use these many techniques, especially in the pharmacogenomics and the genome data science and the drug discovery as well, to predict the drug toxic to predict the drug toxicity. The machine learning that everybody knows it learns from the chemical and biological data to predict the molecular properties. And deep learning, we have neural networks and relations between the protein structure and the function. We can use it here. And also the natural language processing extracts useful information from the literatures, and also generative models. Then it is automatically design a novel drug molecules here. And reinforcement learning, then it will optimize the drug candidate for the other things. There are some AI companies that develop AI tools, and that we can see that here. Insilico Medicines, that is from USA and Nauka collaboration, that will end-to-end drug discovery process. They do that, and Extensia, that they will just do that AI design small molecules. They just already AI design molecules are available in the market. It is in the clinical trials, human clinical trials. That's what they say that here. The first AI designed drug entering into the human clinical trials, because we are just escalating. There are so many steps. We have like from the beginning to many things, uh, from the experimental disease identification, the lead identification, and how these molecules work. There's so many steps we have skipped, and we just directly use these molecules, AI technology, to find out molecules. We use this tool to identify or design molecules. Now that molecules enter into the human clinical trials directly, right? So we have reduced the time, we have reduced the cost, and so many things we have. And Benevolent, there's another company. They are also used to identify the new target for the drug repurposing. There are some drugs which is already banned. Maybe it is in the clinical trials it got failed. We have invested millions of dollars, but at the end, if you see that it's failed in the clinical trials, right? Then finally, what we do that with the drug, we cannot use it, but we can just modify the drug and we can use it for some other disease, not for the particular disease it got failed. We can use, that's called the drug repurposing. And whether we can also identify the new target for this particular drugs, we can use it for other things. And the Atom-wise is there for virtual screening, high-throughput screening of a compound libraries. We use this Atom-wise. My talks will give you more about this, how this AI is important, and what other AI tools are available. And we can see that how this AI role in the drug discovery part here. Right. These are some companies that we can you can just go through later if you have here. So you can see that here, design a novel fibrosis drug, 46 days. In the beginning, when we started this talk, then we said to develop a one drug, it takes more than 10 to 12 years, right? But you can see that this is a novel fibrosis drug in 46 days using AI models. And these people, they have benevolent AI, they have identified this positimab and as a potential COVID-19 treatment, and it is in the trial now. And it's validated in clinical trials. And Extensia, you can see that he uses AI to create a first AI designed drug called this obesity disorders, like this related these drugs, it's enter the human clinical trials. Now we need not to wait for to experimental output and results. Then directly we can go for high throughput screening using AI tools, and after that we can go for designing of the AI to designing of new molecules. Also, we check the activity or potentiality of these molecules, right? So then directly you can send it for the human clinical trials here. There are a few more the things I've given it here. You can how the target identification, what under the successful the things that were done using the AI tools here. In silico medicines, they will identify the new drug, and IBM Watson for a clinical trial matching reduce the time for patient recruitment clinical trials. And deep learning models have been used to predict cardiotoxicity in potential drug candidates, right? With an accuracy of rate of 85% here. Biovalent, and it's identified 10 potential drug target for the ALS disease, a neurological disorder. You can see that all these companies now moving out to this AI technology to develop drugs, and they are already in the process of developing drugs, and they have identified, they come up with almost the potential drugs for the clinical trials and all those things here. This will give us the importance and the significance of the AI technology in drug discovery, right? So not only just an importance, it is a needed technology for in the drug discovery, because this is for uh, we have been waiting for many years, because we need a drugs immediately to treat any diseases, and now we have something in our hand, that this technology, so that we can produce more number of drug like this. And these are some companies that have its works that are given it here, and some more things, virtual screening and other things can be done. The same things we have here, reduce the time and cost, and advantage of AI in drug discovery, that is faster drug designing cycles, and a lower R&D cost, and improve accuracy in the target molecules, and the ability to analyze massive data sets like genomics, proteomics, transcriptomics, and that's called the omics data sets. And all these literatures and omics data sets can be analyzed, and also we can just predict some more information from that, and a personalized medicine opportunity. So whether these drug molecules are can we target any new, can we identify any new targets, so that we can have a particular drug for this particular disease, all the things here. But the only thing is, this AI will work based on the data. If you have a data generated, then if you have a data in your hand, if you have a databases or data, then you can just design a model, or we can, from the data you can get some useful insights. That's what we call it is, right? So, but what is happening here now? We have started implementing, but data availability is less. Actually, when in the drug discovery part I'm talking about, still we know more data, more amount of data. Already the huge amount of data are accumulated in a drug, in the pharma related data, or the pharmacogenomics, or medical related data. But still, if you have a more data, then it will the accuracy will be good. That's what I'm trying to say here. So limited high quality data for training. We have a generated, but the accuracy and the quality of the data, we need to check it, right? So if the quality is good, then output will be good. Accuracy will be good. If there is there is no quality in the data, then obviously we don't get the exact results. The AI cannot generate accurate results from the bad quality data. Right? And model interpreting the black box problem, validating in a biological system still required. And yeah, because even though you develop, identify some molecules, then still you have to go and check with the trial, right? So you can check with the biological system how it works there here. And ethical clearance are needed when you use the data. Not only that experimental the work, also when you just use these data sets, then you need to have ethical clearance, and some regulatory concerns are there. You need to follow all those things here. So those are the things are there here. Maximum the AI in drug development, that AI implemented in these areas maximum, and target disease target protein identification validation, and identify a drug molecule uh, for the particular target protein. And suppose a drug is failed in the trial, then we can use the drug again for repositioning the drug, or repurposing the drug can be done. We can use the drug for the some other targeting any other target protein there. And the clinical trial and patient selection, suppose the drugs is create any problem or toxic to the system or human system or not, how the drug is responding, how the human system is responding to the drug, all these things can be also be done. And predictive toxicology and safety assessments is also they involved for that, and personalized medicine as well. These are some areas that you can see that there are some algorithms available. Most of them are biomedical related algorithm, not this the drug discovery part, right? So medical imaging, other the methods are available here. This is for your information. I have given it here. I will share slides also, so that you may work on some of the algorithms here. Because for the cardiology, pathology, and what are the algorithms are used, and all these details are given it here. And how the proteins are designed, disease target proteins are designed, right? Initially, uh, earlier days, before in the year of 2000, in the 2000, people are struggling. They were using experimental technique called X-ray crystallography and NMR, the electron, different methods they use to identify the protein, right? To get the protein structure and functions and all these things. Now you see that when you just cross all this year, now I'm just coming into this actually the 2021, because the AlphaFold DB launched with the aim of releasing a 100 million predictor structure. The Alpha 2021 AlphaFold is released. This is a completely AI-based tool. Thus, because of this, the revolutionary things are happening in the drug discovery, right? In the drug design and discovery process, right? So AlphaFold is one of the important tools because that will give us the accurate disease target protein structure. If you have a proper disease target protein structure, then you can just design a drug molecule for the disease target protein. Then you can at least try to screen and you can get some better molecule, better drug for the particular disease, right? So AlphaFold give us that maximum accuracy of this protein structure. And you can see that here, and we have some interesting fact about this AI developed tools, right? This is other the things that experimental things, then how AI driven understanding how the AI works. Because there's a protein database, there's a protein structures, and their informations are there. There are many features collected from this database. After that, it just predict the protein structure. Then it will just check from the sequence, from the structure, it will generate uh, uh, it will have a lot of information. Based on that, it will generate the protein structure, and we can go for when your protein structure, we can have a ligand molecules to targeting this, interact with this, and we can get this details, better molecules in that. And how this works, I said how to identify the target protein, right? Data collections and data processing. This general procedure, the pre-processing of this data, right? So if you want to work with AI tools, then you need to have a first data, high quality data, and appropriate data. So collecting this data. So we are working on a genomics data and the proteomics data, and we just gather this genomics and proteomics data. We can just from the patients, we can collect that from the databases. Already these data are available in the databases, and there are so many noisy sequences. So maybe the bad quality data that can be normalized, and through the pre-processes, all these things, the quality will be maintained, right? After that, we identify the features. Like suppose it depends on the aim and the objective of your work. Then what for looking for what you are just doing this data, working with the data. Based on that, we just use the features like mutations and protein expression level, whether the genes are expressed. When you just have some problems, then what and all genes are expressed and what conditions and what are mutations are there. Based on these features, and uh, then we just develop a models and we train a models. Then after that, we just validate the models. There are different the tools and the methods or packages are available that we can just work on that, right? So you can see that how to use that, all those things, it's given in detail. And we can also further, we can just drugability characteristics also, we can just prioritize. Based on that, we can finally we get the drug targets. And all these things we have here. And this is for target identification, how it works. And for drug responsive target, the same way we can just use it. The people mostly use this, the random forest XGBoost and neural networks, right? So the features we have selected here, the what are the genes are expressed, again, the mutations. These are the, not only that, the many features we're going to, the motive and the particular, the genes. Maybe if you're a biotechnology students, you will understand the biological terms of this. And mostly people work on the image data, right? So but nowadays started working on the text data as well. Or some people work, most of some people working on the heterogeneous data mixed with this how this model accuracy they're going to increase. Is for that they just go with heterogeneous data. All these things they're working on it. But recently we started working on this text data. That is, we use this genes and proteins and drug related things and some other coordinates of the molecules. And virtual screening can be done. That means in silico drug discovery, we see the 3D structure of the target proteins, we just download it. We can just take it. After that, we collect millions of compounds from the databases like zinc. These three databases has billions of compounds in it, right? So suppose if you are looking for any molecules targeting or treating this viral disease, coronavirus or disease, yeah, you can see that here all these things. You can also see that AI models quickly analyze and predict how well each can bind to the target. So softwares, it will take some time, but this when you just use this AI-enabled softwares, then it will just quickly analyze and predict all these molecules. See, millions of chemical molecules you are dealing with, but if it is bind quickly and analyze quickly, that will be good, right? So we can just get it. So these tools will be used to collect, find the molecule to target the target. Disease target protein. And also, the machine learning and deep learning models estimate the binding affinity and interactions. All these things we have here, right? Manisha sir, can you mute? Could you please mute the audio? Manisha Srivatava.
घर से
Mani Srivatsava, kindly.
अच्छा
Okay.
Yes. And lead identification. These are the things. Then whether the drug molecule is a potential drug, or how the properties of these drugs, whether the drugs works well in the human system, that is also possible. We can just get it here. Like how it's well, how well it works, safety wise, and the efficacy and the bioavailability. Right. And the AI models can predict how. Sir, can you tell that, or can you for the moment you can just
Yeah, inform.
mute it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So also we can optimization can be done here, and repeated AI guided testing and refinement produce better version of the compound. We have a compounds, but when you just test and refine it again, then we can get the better molecules, right? And finally we can go for a preclinical testing, right? So going to this preclinical testing itself, taking a lot of procedure, it has to cross a lot of levels, but we are escalating all these levels just because of this technology. Then we can directly use the molecules because we just get all the results from the AI tool, and we can see that how it works in the human system or the clinical system here. And this is how the AI predict the advert property of the molecules. We can see that here how this sometimes molecule, if it's a poor absorption, then it may cause problems. Uh, to avoid that, we can just check all this molecule in the beginning itself, right? We have a so that we can collect all the first we can just collect all the molecules from these databases. Then after that you can just check the molecular weight and polarity, and how these molecules works, absorbs in the human system. All these things we can use this as a feature because it's already there. The molecular weight should be less than 5. There are some rules, and based on that rules that we fix as a features. Based on these features, then these models will work, and random forests and the support vector mission neural networks, and it will just find out the patterns or idea admit behavior of these molecules. We can get the results easily. Then we can filter out easily. Finally, you can see that AI filters out compounds with the poor admit properties early in the process. Before going to the human trial or a clinical trial or a human trial, we were able to filter out the compounds, those who have the poor admit properties in the early process itself, right? So that's a very interesting thing, and it reduces a lot of time, and it reduces cost, the budget investment, and so many things are involved in this here. And preclinical trials is needed, and we need to check that how this drugs, how the system is responding to the drug, the predict the drug response variability among different patients group. So that is also possible to check it here, and you can see that we can create a clinical trial simulation, and we have this virtual patient population. We can create a virtual patient population, right? And based on that, how these molecules actually respond to this patient, like how the patients are responding to the molecules, whether the drugs works well for this particular type of patients, like diabetics or the cancer, or non-diabetics, or diabetics with the neurological disorders, diabetics with this obesity, diabetics with the cancer. Like these drugs will work differently because the patients, the response is actually different. Based on that, there are a lot of informations are available through the literatures, through the other report. Based on that, the virtual patient population is created so that we can just check with this. The newly designed molecule or filter out molecules can be checked or validated here with this. And the same things we have here. And benefits, actually, it saves times and cost by avoiding and failed trial designs, and identify the patient subgroup mostly like to benefit, which group is mostly like to benefit for this drug, and improves the trial efficacy, and the success rate is very high. And the risk, because if you check, there are 10 drugs. If you are trying to check these 10 drugs with the human or mice are directly coming to the human trial, right? So if it may cause some side effect, right? It will definitely sometimes cause some drugs have the adverse effect. It will just create some problems. We cannot do anything suddenly. If you just inject into the human, and suddenly create some adverse effects, some allergic, and some kind of indigestion, some kind of problems in it. And actually, it's a risk actually, right? This AI will reduce those risk actually. And one of the important techniques in drug discovery we use as a bioinformatics is a molecular docking. Molecular docking is nothing but how this molecule interacting with the target protein. You can see the 3D structure of the protein target and how the drug molecule and the chemical structure of compounds, how it's interact with this. Like you can see the AI converts this molecule and protein into a numerical representation. That's a 3D description, 3D grids, and check that how these molecules are interacting. It's how the possibilities of the molecule interacting with the drug target proteins, and all these things it will check it. And we have AI enabled the tools that is deep learning models will predict the best binding force of the drug molecule, best binding force of the protein, where the drug molecule can interact, can bind to this, and also the binding affinity, how this drug and the disease target proteins are interacting. And finally, it has to rank. There are millions of compounds, means which molecule is best. It has to rank based on the interactions, based on this the orientations, like things, affinity. Then it will just give us the interactions. We have a tools and softwares already, but what is the specialty here? But we get accuracy, most accurate ranking molecules we get it here. And also at the same time, we're dealing with the billions of molecules, then it is very difficult for you to manually to cross verify with the drug property and the binding affinity as well as that other orientations as well, right? So, but this AI will give us, filter out all those things, it will validate and give us the results at the end. And there are a few more which all these things we have here. And drug toxic predictions, we have done small work on this. And also the tool is available online. You can check it, whether this drug is toxic or not, non-toxic. We can just check it. Developed AI tools. There are some algorithms, some packages we use in the Python. Then we can see that here. And there are some, we collect the drug from the drug bank or chemical. Also, you can, Kegel also is available. Some of the compounds are available. You can use it here. And we convert chemical structure and numerical features like a molecular weight, polarity, log P, as donors, acceptor, all these things. And also includes the biological omic data. And based on that, we can just clean the data and pre-process the data. Finally, we developed which are the non-drug and druggable the candidate. So those things we have done. This is another important AI tool that is AlphaFold. It's developed by this Google DeepMind, right? So it could predict the 3D shape of the protein with high accuracy in the 2020, right? And most drugs works by binding to various sites on the protein. And this they have done it. And AlphaFold is a fantastic tool, the tool developed by DeepMind. And one interesting thing is that actually the AlphaMind, how it works, if you see that here, it uses all these the tools available already. There are some tools are available, multiple sequence alignment, and from there it extracts a lot of features like the residual informations and the relationship between the residues and the patterns. All the things it will collect it. Based on that, it will just check that distance angles between the residues and just develop some models and convert into 3D model of the protein here. And it produces high accuracy 3D structure of the protein. So far, this is the only tool giving a high accuracy of the protein model structure. So far, till now, past the past 20, 25 years, the people are working on developing the tool for these things and predicting a protein disease target protein. But this tool gives us a high accuracy 3D structure. For that reason, and they have got a Nobel Prize for the 2024. Very first time, the AI artificial intelligence, the community, the scientific community people, they're working on this this computational methods and computer the technologies. They've got a Nobel Prize in 2024, right? And Demis Sapesi and John Hooper. And these people, they honored for the development of AlphaFold, which revolutionized the prediction of protein structure, considered one of the greatest achievements in the computational biology. Right? So this tool works based on the DeepMind, and these people are working for many years, and finally they got this, come to the solution. They have developed the fantastic tool called AlphaFold, and that will give us a good, accurate protein structures here. The protein structures are required for the drug discovery, like drug identification. There are some libraries are used for the molecular docking, and there are these many steps we supposed to do. We have Python packages. Using the Python packages manually, we supposed to do. We are doing it all these things, building atomic receptor model, because a lot of things we have to take care, and But when you use a AI-enabled tool, then you need not to work because you can see that here, this tool called DeepDoc and the EquipMind and DeepDoc, and these are the AI-enabled tools, and these AI models predict the correct 3D orientation of the ligands with the binding site. So there are a lot of manual preparation has to be done, the processing has to be done, and the protein data or the input data, that all will be taken care by this the AI tool, and this deep doc and equipbind. It automatically, everything is automated and everything is done, and we get the IO accuracy results, right? And the AI learns like, and the structure and binding affinity, all of the things can be done easily here. And also we can get the binding energy. Mostly the terms I'm using most of these biological terms. I applied the machine learning and the algorithms to the biological data. Maybe you guys are applying into the image data or any of that data, then it will be comfortable to you to actually understand more. And the AI screens millions of compounds quickly by predicting likely binders before the docking. These are the tools we can see here: DeepChem, Mol2Vec, and ChemBreta. So all these tools are available here. And not only that, and flexible docking is also possible. Deep learning models predict protein conformation on the side chain movement, and it will give us a good binding affinity of the drug molecules here. And the difference between the traditional docking and the AI-enabled. Docking is very important method in drug discovery. That's why I chosen this docking methodology. But how is AI is implemented in the docking methodology? The AI-enabled docking, how it works, and the traditional docking, how it works. I wanted to give you some clarity on that. So yeah, being in a bioinformaticians, yeah, of course, we depend on this traditional docking. We get the good results, and many years we have been using. But once this AI-enabled docking tools have come, then we are completely rely on these things. We have been doing with this AI-enabled dockings because it reduces our work and our time as well, so that we always try to work with this AI-enabled docking tools here. And you can see that here time consuming is much taking and much faster using trained models. And here predict optimal poses directly. Here I have to do manually to predict that optimal pose, which pose is better for the drug binding. Drug should go and bind to a particular poses, or which orientation is good for the drug to bind to that. That prediction, it is very difficult for us to identify, but AI predicts directly, and also we get the IO accuracy results here. And the MD simulations. What is MD simulations? MD simulation is nothing but, yeah. So we can create a human physiological condition or system in the computer itself. So that's what MD simulation. MD simulation is very important the methodology in drug discovery. Once you identify a target, you identify a drug molecule. That's how this drug molecule working on this target protein. Yes, it's going to the bind. That's called the molecular docking. Once it is bind, what exactly happening within that, within the molecules, that we cannot see in the docking technology, docking methodology. But in the MD simulations, we will be able to see that for the particular time period, how this molecules are behaving, how the drug and the disease target proteins are behaving in the human system environment. So our human system inside, there are a lot of parameters, a lot of things are maintained. Temperature, pressure, pH, and densities. There are a lot of things are maintained. All these things can be created in the computer itself. That's called the simulation box, where through that force field, we are just developing this box, computer simulation box. After developing, setting up all this environment, the human system environment, we can just put this molecule into it. Then we can see that how this molecule works within this environment in the human system. Inside you are taking a tablet, it will go, and once you've taken the tablet, you don't know what this tablet is doing inside your system in your body. But that things can be seen here, the simulation techniques, the computer simulations we call it is, right? We have many Python libraries available, but these are all manual. There are many tools are available, GROMAX and other things are there. There are many interfaces available, but these are manually, we have to do a lot of things. This many things, this much of works we are supposed to do here. Even though if you use the Python coding, right, you can see that this many, we need to import this many packages, and for visualization, analysis, everything here. So this page will help us to know all these things. Suppose if you wanted to, if you're interested, you wanted to know, you can just go to this page and you can get it here, right? And now we are using GROMAX software to do this work, how this drug and proteins are behaving in the human system. But it's taking time, and there are a lot of manual work we are doing it, because since we have been doing more than 15 years, I know that how difficult handling and managing and preparations and handling the data that is generated and all those things. But now the AI is actually reducing our work. Then we can just use this AI enhanced MD that predicts the pathway, and the AIMD molecular dynamics predicts the dynamic behavior. And for the membrane proteins also, it's very difficult building up the molecular dynamic simulations. Everybody's stuck with this membrane proteins always, because locating the proteins into the membrane is very, very difficult, highly challengeable. So now after this, because we adjust all day, we'll sit morning to evening, we adjust the small parameters to fit into this particular position, the protein position in the membrane. But now once the AI-assisted MD tools we have packages, it becomes so easier for us to locate the membrane proteins into the membrane, right? And also the speed of the analysis, the AI-MD simulation speed of the analysis. And you can see the speed of the simulation up to 1000x in some cases, and reduce the computational cost, because we are spending a lot of money, almost 50-60 lakhs we are spending to configure one machine to do this MD simulation, because it required high performance computing facility to run the job. But that reduces this AI reduces those things, actually reduces the computational cost, because the speed of the simulation 1000 plus in some cases here. And all these things can be done. Those people who are working on the bioinformatics, or the computational biologist, or the biomedical, are working on these things, simulations and the drug discovery part. They will have an understanding of all these terms like protein ligand binding predictions, binding free energy calculations, and allosteric site discovery, and the toxic transferability, all these things here. Yeah, probably that will trigger you to search more about it. There are some AI tools and databases are available. AlphaFold, that we know, DeepChem, it's a open source toolkit for deep learning in chemistry. And Atomize, that we have discussed for the screening of the molecules and all these things here. And Benevolent and Insilico Medicine, that we have discussed, right? Already AI-based end-to-end drug discovery platform. Already there are drugs in the clinical trials. And the PubChem Chemical Drug Bank, the database for the AI model. These are the database available for the AI model and training. So I'm just almost coming to the conclusion. That is, I have started with the experimental research in the drug discovery, experimental analysis, experimental study, the drug discovery. After that, the role of computer in the drug discovery. After that, the role of artificial intelligence in the drug discovery. So you need to have a small the clarity on this, so that will give you a more interesting thing, that how the AI is actually powerful in the drug discovery in the pharma industries, right? So experimental research taking 15 years, more than 12 to 15 years it's taking to introduce one drug molecule in the market. And the computer drug testing reduces those time to year-wise, like not that 10 years, 12 years, at least 2 to 3 years. It will reduces that number of years. From the 10 to 12 years, the computer drug designing, the computation techniques is reduced to that 2 to 3 years. Within 2 to 3 years, it's possible to introduce a drug molecule into the market. But we now one slide we have seen that actually because of AI technology, still more we can also possibilities to get only for the except from the human clinical trials. In a day we can get it. Yeah.
Professor, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
The screen sharing is not visible. நீங்க வந்து ஃபோக்கஸ் மோட்ல இருக்கும் போல.
ஓகே.
ரொம்ப நேரமாவே ஸ்கிரீன் பார்க்க முடியல.
சார் சொல்லவே இல்லை சார். நிறைய ஸ்லைட்ஸ் நான் மூவ் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
ஆமா. மெசேஜ் போட்டுட்டே இருந்தோம். அப்புறம் அது நீங்க கவனிக்கல.
யாராச்சும் you can online
conclusion.
Yeah. Almost.
Okay. கொஞ்சம் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஸ்லைடும் வந்துரும். Okay.
Yeah. So you can see that traditional talking and all these things here. Okay. And these are the people that we are talking about. They got a Nobel Prize for this AI tool developed, especially for the protein structure prediction. That will be really helpful for the people who are working in a drug discovery designing part, and because they are struggling with the accurate good model protein structure, getting a good model protein structure. But because of this AlphaFold, they are getting nowadays a good model protein structure. After the development of this tool, there are n number of protein structures are deposited in the data bank. We know that actually AI technologies required huge amount of data so that it can just train well, it can have a better model, and it can be a better model and give us a good accuracy results. For that, we need a good quality data, right? That only the good quality data. Also, it should have, it required a huge amount of data. So after this tool is developed, AlphaFold, the AI tool is developed, there are many protein structures are predicted, generated, elucidated with a good accuracy, right? So that those protein structures are implemented in other drug binding, drug targeting study and for analysis, all those things here. I was talking about few of the slides here and the AlphaFold structures, how it's a next big thing for the drug discovery. So if you are free, you can just work how this tool is developed using the deep AI technology. And these are some methods that we have seen and some tools we have discussed. How this AI-driven protein design, the AlphaFold is introduced in the 2001, and after that FDA approved algorithms, and also the AI is mainly involved in the target identification and the lead compound and drug repurposing and the clinical trial and design clinical trial design and the patient selection. All the things are here. And a few more things I have discussed, like how this traditional method, computer drug designing. This is a traditional method and the AI contribution here. So for the target identification, in the drug discovery process, these are the important steps that we have been talking from the beginning of this session. Target identification, it means the drug discovery of the particular compound, the drug, and the lead optimization, and after the preclinical testing, clinical trials. We need to identify this, and after that, we need to identify the disease target protein, finding a disease-related genes, and finding a best potential molecule for these genes, disease-related genes. Because we need to stop this gene function, the protein function, for that we need to have a better drug. That drug, how to identify? There are many compounds are available. We don't know which drug. There are millions of compounds are available in the database. We need to identify which drug will work. You cannot say the drug in the early stages because it's a compound only. Once it's clear the FDA approval and clinical trials and FDA approval, then only we can say it is a drug. Right. So the millions of compounds can be screened, and we can also refine the molecular structures of these small molecules. And preclinical testing, the animal and cell-based rat and mice, we can just inject the drug molecule and get how this is responding. And all the things are here. But it all taking traditional process. Actually, experimental techniques, Bioinformatics, we are talking past 15 to 20 years is a traditional method. But now we ourselves, we are talking that computer drug designing itself is a traditional process because it's taking some time. It requires a high amount of computational, the facility, as well as the time, and there are a lot of manual work is required. But coming to this AI contribution here, then you can see that here, it predicts all the admin properties of the drug and which molecule has, which is a better molecule and the same molecule. Those who have a low toxicity, it will not create any disease, any side effects in the system. That all those things can be easily predicted using the AI technology. And not only that, when you use this other tools, the computational tools, then it will take more time for the screening of these millions of compounds. But the deep learning models predict binding affinity, reducing lab screening, right? So that is fantastic. Actually, we are getting nowadays we are screening more number of compounds. We are just screening the database, old database compound, not that only that particular compounds here. And these are the slides I just moved on. I just explained how this AI is working. So I explained what is that experimental research in experimental steps in the computer drug designing or discovery. After that, how the computers are in drug discovery, then AI in drug discovery. I was talking about these things only, like how this admin properties predicted using AI, and virtual screening is done in the using AI, and machine learning models approaches that is used to predict the drug responsive targets. That means drug gene targets interactions, and preclinical test. And this preclinical test also can be done using the clinical trial simulation, right? So we can just create a virtual patient population. Also, how these the patients virtual populations are responding to the drug. So we can just create we can get all those informations here, because we can save time and cost by avoiding failed trial design. When you check with the drug with this human system directly, if it fails, if it is not working, at the same time causing any side effects, then it's a failed drug. The trial is failed. Then we have lost the time, we have lost the cost, and a lot of things we have lost. Instead of wasting that thing, at the same time, it's create a problem to the human system, right? So directly you are going for human trials. That is why the clinical trials are happening. Yeah. So nobody's done. FDA is not allowing to go directly with the human trials. First, it has to clear the preclinical levels, and it has to clear that, then it comes to the human trial. But still, then also there's a chances of causing some side effects. To avoid that, we should go for virtual the patients group. Then we can use this AI methodology models that will give us how this the human system is responding to this drug and which conditions they're causing any disease, any side effects or not. All these things can be done. And also we can just identify the patient subgroups most likely to benefit and improve trial efficiency and success rate and reduce the adverse effect. That's what I said. In the benefits I said, the real patient. When come to the real patient, it all checked with the virtual patient. When come to the real patient, it will reduce the risk of adverse effect because everything will be checked in the virtual patients itself. The trial is done there. Also, I talking about this molecular docking. The AI in molecular docking, this method is very important method in drug discovery. How AI is actually helping in this area. Instead of this software and tools, depending on that, we can also use these models that will be very faster and quickly getting generating results and getting appropriate and concise results and with good accuracy, right? And the AlphaFold, I was talking about it, and it works well. It uses it runs based on the deep learning method, right? And that learns complex pattern from the large data sets, and, then give us a good accuracy. That's why it's required large data sets and huge amount of data sets are required to get a better model and to generate a good accuracy, right? And all these things were discussed, I think. And these two people we have seen, and these are the manual work that I've been doing it. Nowadays we are not doing those things. Then directly we are using AI enabled the methods. Then you can see this is a traditional docking and the AI enabled docking. We're just comparing. So for last 15 to 20 years, whenever we are sharing and we are giving our talk, then we're just comparing with the computer-aided drug designing with the experimental techniques. Nowadays, we are comparing with the computer-aided drug designing to the AI-enabled drug discovery designing, right? So simulation techniques I was talking about. This is the simulation techniques, how it works. The simulations we can just create. How AI is helping out in the simulation that we can create. What to say that human biological system in the computer itself, and all these things. These are some tools that is available. AlphaForce, DeepChem, and Bioinformatics, in silico medicines, and these are the tools that are available. And coming to the while challenges remains, the combination of human expertise and machine intelligence is leading us towards a future of data-driven personalized medicine. Yeah, because day by day the challenge is increasing, so that we need to rely on the advanced technologies and depend on the technologies and also upgrade the technologies to solve these problems, right? So AI is reshaping the pharmaceutical landscape by making drug discovery smarter, faster, and more precise. And in future, okay, now I was talking about experimental work, drug discovery, then computational work, computational techniques in the drug discovery, and AI in drug discovery. Then what next? It goes on, right? So then we can see the integration with the quantum computing for the faster molecular simulations. Maybe the quantum level, if you go, then already we have a quantum mechanics force field there in the simulation softwares. Maybe that will be upgraded. Then this will help us go for the results, getting a results quickly, and it will be faster job run. And the multi-omics data fusion, like not only rely on the one data, then we need to fuse all these things, genomics, proteomics, metabolomics data, and AI-assisted personalized drug design based on the patient genetics, and automation in the lab experiment. There are some lab experiments, right, that need to be automated. Like now, then China, they have what to say that robotic agents, like hospital agents, that they have it already. A few weeks before they have launched that. First, they will just screen all the basics, the test in the robot in front of robot only. Robot will screen all those things. Then when the human expert is required, that time they can go there. So also that we need to automate the many lab experiments, right? And they together here. Yeah. Thank you. Any doubts, any things you have, I'll be happy to take up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your detailed presentation. I request the participants to interact with the resource person. If you're having any doubt, clarification, you can interact with our resource person, please.
I think so. Mine is, since I'm a bioinformatician, my talks focuses more on the biological data related things. And probably some of them, they are interested in working on the image data. Maybe they're working on the device related things, AI and device related. But the drug discovery, it's more appropriate. I feel it actually. It's working on the textual data.
One participant has raised the query in chat box.
Yeah.
How AI helpful in genomic sequencing for identifying disease?
Yeah, genome sequencing, it was very difficult early stages. For example, we need to depend on the old methodology, like a Sanger sequence. Now also they're using it, but Sanger sequencing and other sequencing methodologies, they were using it for the DNA sequencing methods. Nowadays, the whole genome sequencing technologies has come, but the whole genome sequencing technologies also, there are a lot of pre-processing steps are there. If you look at the steps, how this sequencing is done, whole genome sequencing of eukaryotic bacteria may be easier, but when coming to this metagenomics also, or the human genomes, the prokaryotic genome or plant genome, there are a lot of pre-processing steps are there, like that library preparations and the experimental steps, right? Also, you can see that once genome sequencing is done and identifying the disease, which gene is responsible for the disease causing, that's very difficult for us. In that case, if you have a database, already the disease causing genes already identified from the for the already reported, if you have those informations, you can easily match this gene. Is there any mutations, for example, cancer? So I hope you are getting it. What I'm saying it in cancer, there are a lot of mutations are responsible for the cancer cause. The many mutations, we don't know which mutation caused the cancer, right? So if you have whole genome sequences and also you have a mutation database already, then this AI tool will match and predict this any mutations are there in this genome sequence or not. It will whole genome sequence comparisons it will do with the existing database data. Then it will give us immediately, yeah, these are the mutations are disease causing mutations are there. So definitely this mutation is there, definitely will cause a disease. If there is a mutation in a particular gene, then that gene is responsible for the particular disease, right? We can easily identify. That way we can, this is one of the example I say. There are other way when you just give some drugs or when you have what are all genes are expressed in the system, what are all genes are downregulated. Based on that also, you can just develop a models, then you can just identify the diseases.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Somebody has asked about docking in drug discovery. Just you can brief it because
Yeah,
due to short
yes.
of time,
Yeah.
the next resource person is ready.
Waiting. Yeah. So
Thank you.
drug discovery docking is techniques where we can check how this drug molecule interacting with the disease target protein. Right, the protein is there. There's active site of the protein. The drug molecule should go and bind to that. That means there is a disease the protein that is involving in the disease associated with the disease. Its function is very important for disease causing, or it creates some problems. We need to stop the function of the protein one way. There's a stopping, inhibiting, triggering, activating. There are many things are there. Inhibiting to inhibit that things only, we are just checking whether when you are taking drug molecule, it go and bind to that protein and stop its function and control the disease, right? Then how it will be checked in the human, we cannot check directly. So if you have a software or anything, we have molecular docking software and tools and AI technologies we have that will check how this drug molecule interact with this active site of the protein, right? It will check that the best orientation, best pose of this molecule, the drug molecule fitting into this. The overall, the simple definition, checking the binding affinity, stability between the interactions between the target protein or target molecule and the drug molecule. That's called the molecular docking, right? So it is very important steps. Whether the drug molecule interacting with the protein or not, we should know, right? Then only we can say this drug is working well. So it is important technology for important techniques in the drug discovery. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, sir will be sharing his email ID.
Yeah.
Even I can share it in our WhatsApp group. If any clarification, you can contact through mail also.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, thanks for your wonderful session. On
Okay.
behalf of Jayasakti Engineering College, Director Academics, Dean Research, Principal, Organizing Committee, faculty members, and all participants, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to you, sir. Uh, we are thankful for the time and effort you have dedicated to sharing your expertise with us. This, the insights you have shared have not only broadened our knowledge but also enhanced our skills. Personally, I thank you once again. Thanks for accepting our invitation and giving a wonderful lecture. Once again, I thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now we will have our session 8, that is uh, robotics in healthcare. The expert is Dr. Durga Prasad Sharma from Arba Minch University, Ethiopia. Sir is on the screen. Welcome, sir. So I request our team research to give a welcome address. Sir, Sharma ji. Okay, okay. You will be made as a co-host. So it is. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. It is my privilege to welcome Dr. Sharma ji from Arba Minch University for accepting my short request and joining with us immediately. Okay. So on behalf of our management, Jayasakti Engineering College, Director Academics, Dean Research, Principal, faculty members, and organizing committee, and all the participants, I welcome you, sir. Just I will give a brief note about you, but it is not a brief note, it is very lengthy one. But let the participants will know about your credentials and your achievements. So, Dr. Durga Prasad Sharma, shortly we call it as DP Sharma, professor, scientist, and is the advisor for education, research, and digital diplomacy. The confluence of the five, an eminent academician, author, researcher, rehabilitation technology expert, and digital diplomat, Professor D.P. Sharma is a strategic innovator and international orator. He is the recipient of 61 national and international awards and a wide range of appreciation, including the Godfrey Phillips Red and White Bravery National Award in the year 2001 for social courage, anti-corruption, and upliftment of Divyang with dignity. Rajasthan Ratna Bharat Award in 2024 by Rajasthan Information Technology Organization, and one of the highest civilian awards, the Sardar Ratna Lifetime Achievement International Award in the year 2015 in memory of modern India's architect and first Deputy Prime Minister of Independent India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, for mind of steel and social transformation through education and technology. The Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi invited Dr. D.P. Sharma to serve and support the cleanliness mission of India's Swachh Bharat mission as a national ambassador for youth and academia in the year 2017. Following the spirit of this mission, he also played a key role in overseeing and creating My City, My Duty app for Jaipur city. This initiative aimed to support the Swachh Bharat mission. The My City, My Duty app was launched by His Excellency Sri Kalyan Singh, the then Governor of Rajasthan. Dr. Sharma ji has received recognition for his achievements in Rajasthan. He was included on a Google list of 21 famous people from the state between December 2019 and February 2024. In 2022, the Rajasthan Foundation of Government of Rajasthan named him a legendary personality of Rajasthan. Dr. Sharmaji's work has taken him around the world. He has collaborated with the universities and organizations in France, Germany, Belgium, Ethiopia, South Korea, and USA, Thailand, UK, Malaysia, China, Singapore, Egypt, Switzerland, Norway, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Turkey, Dubai, Canada, Netherlands, and many other countries. His activities in these countries have included academic exchanges, research projects, digital policy diplomacy, keynote speeches, international conferences, and serving as an advisor for research projects with organizations like VLRI, IGF, and UNDP. Dr. Sharma's dedication extends to education. Since 2023, he has served as an international professional ambassador for the Institute for Education, Research, and Publication. A prolific writer, Dr. Sharma has authored and contributed 28 books spanning diverse topics on computer science and information technology. 13 textbooks, 6 book chapters from Vardhaman Mahavir Open University, and 6 book modules for Foreign Online ET College, chief editor of book for Vardhaman Mahavir, and so on. In addition to his books, Dr. Sharma boasts an impressive collection of 115 research articles in indexed international journals and con- conference proceedings, 104 editorials, and 6 patents published and granted. One Indian, 3 Australian, 1 South African, and 1 Indian registered. Dr. Sharmaji brings a wealth of international experience to his research endeavors. He served on International Research Advisory Commission for Educational Psychology at Vrije University, Brussels, and has a history of advising doctoral students across the institution. Dr. D.P. Sharmaji was recognized as one of the top faculty ambassadors by IBM USA and served as an academic faculty ambassador India for cloud computing, offering AI from 2009 to 2010. Listed as an academic celebrity, he has collaborated with various international organizations, including the ILO, UNDP, and IGF, along with the DSP, Rotary International, and NIAS USA. Dr. Sharma boasts an impressive record of guiding 17 PhD scholars and to successful graduation. Notably, these distinguished PhD graduate scholars include academic staff from prestigious institutions like University of Maryland, USA, Fiji National University, Fiji, Saudi Electronic University, Saudi Arabia, AMU Arabamint University, ASTU, and ASSTU, Ethiopia, University of Paris, and Norton Software University, and R&D labs across the country. A renowned speaker in high demand, he has held prestigious positions: conference chair, program chair, technical advisor, organizing secretary, IEEE TPC member, and editorial advisor at numerous international conferences. In August 2017, Dr. Sharma was nominated as a jury member for National Award Selection Committee for Big Data Innovation Award by Ministry of Higher Technical Education, Government of Rajasthan, under the National Science Innovation Mission India 2017. He has been appointed as an Apex board member of ICT and TAPI of Africa. He has advised numerous projects and policy drafts for downtrodden communities under the scheme of UN Convention for PWDs and IT ethical policies for least developed countries. Okay, with this brief introduction, I introduce our Sharmaji, and for more details, kindly visit Sharmaji's website www.dpsharma.org. So you will be excited to see lot of achievements and many more accolades for to him. I once again I personally wish and thank Dr. Sharmaji. Kindly
Thank
take
you.
over.
Thank you very much.
Kindly
Thank you
kindly
very
take
much,
over the
Professor.
session. Sharma ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Raja Saab. And and well, I'm really, privileged, feel honored to be the part of this wonderful FDP program here in your esteemed college.
Thank you,
And
sir.
based on my specialization and the time quantum given to me, I tried my level best to design the deliberation crux so that I can highlight those which are most important aspects of robotics in healthcare. So let me share my slide to you. Is it visible now? Is it visible? Is it visible to all of
Visible,
you?
sir.
Yeah.
Visible,
So
Professor.
whenever there is some hitch or glitch in the network, please call me on my WhatsApp, sir, because I will focus on my deliberation rather than on the network. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, good evening, according to the Indian Standard Time. Uh, and I really appreciate the invitation and the event being organized by Professor Raja and giving this opportunity to have the part of this wonderful event. And it is truly an honor and pleasure for me to interact with you all eminent academicians present here in this specific session. My topic of deliberation is a 360-degree view and review of robotics in healthcare with the opportunities and disruptions. Because I would like to show you not only one pathway, I would like to show you, the pathway we normally ignore. Because whenever we always see 180-degree front, and we never see the 180-degree which is in the back end, which is in behind. So I would like to give the lights on both the 180 front and 180 back, so that we can understand how and what way we have to design our life in the professional domain, and provide the technological and healthcare supports to each and every individual human being. So 180-degree front will be the opportunities, and 180-degree behind will be the disruptions and challenges. Well, these are my outlines that I would like to cover, so I am just skipping. Change is the universal law of the nature. Everything change with respect to the time. According to Heraclitus Ephesus, who 475 BC narrated that nothing is permanent in this universe except change. Change is only permanent in nature. Everything will change. Technology will change. Healthcare systems will change. Human generation will change. Their shape and size will change, and this universe will try to change each and everything by the wish of the natural justice and natural, law of the nature. So change, if is only permanent in nature, then what is permanent? Nothing. So we have to work according to the changes. This is the law of the universe. So whenever there is a change, for example, we want to change something in the healthcare sector by the intervention of the technology like AI and robotics, the inertia will oppose it. There are, these changes are not acceptable. But after a certain period of time, a new state will come that is called equilibrium. Means some of the changes will be acceptable, and some of the changes will still be, opposed. But slowly, these changes will convert into the convergence. Means ano vadra katuvo yanto vishuddha. Means let novel ideas, novel science, novel thoughts, and novel technologies converge into each and every discipline to transform them, to develop the new paradigm shifts. Similarly, and the same manner, rather, healthcare sector has now approached the state of the convergence, where information technology, computer science, and other systems like electronics, electric, and mechanical, all are trying to converge into healthcare, and healthcare is providing them support as well. So this is the mutual understanding. So the convergence is happening, means flow from all around the dimensions. The technologies are converging into the healthcare sector, and healthcare sector is emerging with fast speed. So we have to take those opportunities as a positive aspect. We have to understand what are the positive aspect in these technologies so that we can explore, we can develop the new paradigm shifts, or we can update or upgrade the existing, scenarios. This is the, phase of the shaking up. And when the shaking up thing come, there will be lots of challenges and will be lots of disruptions. Definitely, I will show you the pathway that how these technology will be also a challenge and disruption for the human generation. Those part also I will show you in my deliberation. So we have to challenge the challenges to establish the change and evolve us. If we are not in the position to challenge the challenges of the changes, then we cannot evolve the healthcare sector that today I'm going to, highlight in my deliberation. As you know, the technology is enabling nowadays changes, and changes are creating the opportunities for upgradation, opportunity for updation, opportunity for extension, opportunity for enhancement, opportunities for scalability, opportunity for performance, opportunity for speed, opportunity for features, opportunity for several aspects. And these opportunities create the market. So when there is a market, there is a change. When there is a market, there is a development. When there is a market, there is an upgradation. So these markets are creating the profits. And for the profit, every company, every industry, including the healthcare, is working so far for. And when we talk about the artificial intelligence, because lots of deliberation have already been completed in the domain of artificial intelligence, but my focus is on robotics in healthcare sectors. But artificial and robotics are complement to each other. Robotics cannot work without artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence cannot create the market without robotics, because artificial intelligence is nothing but a soft component, which is the brain of the robots. A robot is nothing but a hardware. Hardware means physical body. A person cannot survive without the mind. Mind is that it's a dead body, just like. Similarly, robots without mind is useless, and mind without body is also useless. So we will talk the different dimensions and the important crux of these technologies. So AI is nothing but a brain focused on different algorithms, different principles, different kind of softwares, different kind of soft entities, which can behave like a intelligent, system, intelligent entity for taking different type of decisions, for learning just like human, then mimicking the human behaviors. Similarly, robotics is nothing but a hard body that I mentioned earlier. It builds a physical machine. It's physical means movable, just like actionable, to interact with the real world, just like a car. This is the autonomic car is nothing but just a robotic design extension. See, these two fields are often, complement to each other. Therefore, they are working to provide the two-dimensional support. One is intelligence, a second one is decision making for performing the different type of task. When we go a little deeper in the diverse focus and goals of this artificial and intelligence together, we need to understand. We need to understand that nowadays human is becoming lazy. Human want that everything should be done by machine. And definitely this is the opportunity that we are craving. That is the opportunity we are exploring as a computer scientist or IT scientist. How we can develop the systems that can learn by themselves using the data, huge amount of data, using different kind of learning mechanism like deep learning, like machine learning, like few shot learning, like zero shot learning, like inferential learning, like distributed learning, like your zero shot learning, like n shot learning, different type of learnings. I will not go in detail because otherwise it will be finished in one learning itself. And the problem solving just like a human solves the problem similarly, and decision making and autonomic mode. And the most important thing, that is the goal, the objective of this, the artificial intelligence to enabling the machines, enabling the systems, enabling the your different components of the different type of systems to perform the different tasks other than the traditional manner by using the cognitive intelligence, cognitive skills, cognitive behavior. And this human's cognitive behavior is now going to be injected into the machines. Since last 50 years, we didn't do anything for the development of the human brain, but definitely we have done a lot of to develop the brain of the machines. And therefore, we have to look into 180-degree front and 180-degree back also. That are we in the bright pathways or we are on the dark pathways as well? And I will show you the pathway with evidences because I'm a scientist. I'm a diplomacy, this policymakers among the policymaker stakeholders. Therefore, it is my duty to understand and share my experience with you all, eminent and experience academic fraternity people, so that you can design, develop, and deploy the system accordingly. Are we on the right path or are we on the wrong path? So enabling the machine, just like to work as a human being, it was a very challenging task, but now it has turned into the reality. This is not a fantasy. This is not a fantasy. This is not a fiction. This is truly converted into reality. Just like a voice assistant. Nowadays translation, transliteration, both are facilitated by the Google Translator and other translators as well. Means translation divide, just like digital divide, translation divide, or linguistic divide is not a problem in any country. You can go in any country, you can use a small tool on your mobile, and they will convert. The tool will convert their language to you and your language to them. So this divide is diluted nowadays. And the robotics is nothing but its main focus is on the designing, then developing, then constructing, then operationalizing, and then physically deploying in the real world scenarios, making hospitals, isn't it, in operation theaters, isn't it, and the hospital campuses for the cleaning process and others. And therefore, we need to understand that why did we develop these? Because we want to make our works very easy. We want to transfer the laborious work. We want to transfer the rescue work. We want to transfer the repetitive work to the machines. Means machine will do which is not having a big logic and human your instincts decision making in the instant situation is not required. Then those things may be transferred to the robots. They can do very easily. Definitely, it should be because we are the path on the pathway of the development. So these physical tasks are required to be navigated, developed, designed, and deployed in the real world scenarios. Just like industrial robots in manufacturing, just as self-driving cars, robotic arms for the persons with disabilities and surgeries. So these, all the things we are just trying to transform to be performed by the autonomic systems that is called robots. Autonomic system that we call robots. And so robotics is nothing but a branch of engineering and science, both branch of engineering and science. We can say this is the true convergence of science, engineering, and technology as well. And this combines the electrical, electronics for the sensors, for the power system that is electrical, for the computer science that is brain, for using the different kind of algorithmic input to the system's brain. And these developments, these designs, these productions, when come in the operational phase in the field of reality, then definitely they create certain challenges. So in order to elevate those challenges, we have different type of research that we will also discuss during this deliberation. So the primary goal of this robotics was to create intelligent machine, to create intelligent slaves, to create intelligent assistants, to create intelligent followers that can perform the task of human generation. But according to the Jeffrey Hinton, who is the father of artificial intelligence to Nobel laureate, Mr. Jeffrey Hinton, he says that I have done a biggest mistake in my life. And he resigned from the Google as a vice president. And he says, this genie is now out of the box. and it cannot go back. And we cannot go back. But we have to elevate the certain disruptions and challenges of these robots as well that is going to be discussed today. But there is a biggest threat and there is biggest opportunities. Both sides are there. Opportunities are there, challenges are there, disruptions are there between in the horizon, in the domain of human and robots relationship. How the human will control the robots and how the robots will control the human. Because my question, usually I ask in my international deliberations, I ask this question that if human is intelligent, then why we develop the intelligent artificial intelligence? Human is intelligent enough, then why we develop artificial intelligence? And if human is not intelligent, then how we develop the artificial intelligence? This is a billions dollars question. I will discuss with you later. So the key component that required to be designed a robot that will work in your hospital and healthcare sectors, because nowadays the hospitals are transformed or going to be transformed into a smart hospitals where everything is smart. Means a report which is taken out from one laboratory need not to be sent by manual mechanism or by the printout mechanism to the surgeon. Surgeon can automatically access those reports, from the centralized system where the centralized repository of each and every test of the human generation or the human being is done. Blood report, urine report, or trash, stool report, and whatever reports are there, need not to bring from the different. They are stored at one place that is called EHR systems, electronic health record systems, and a surgeon can open those files and access. But we didn't stop here. We have go beyond it. That is called what? Google Glass. In the Google Glass, you need not to change your dimension of the to check the different files on your machine. You are talking to the patient, and while talking to the patient, you are just watching the report on your screen. No need, no need. This era is also over. This era is also over in the laboratories, and it has come in the field as well, in the hospital as well, in the developed country, and even in India, some of the hospitals. How? Using the Google Glass in parallel to the testing or checking the tongue, the color of the eyes of the patient, you are accessing the reports by connected a specs here on your eye, with directly accessing your data and information. So you need not to private yourself. That is called Google Glass. So this is also one of the component which is inserted or which is hold or which is just installed over the eyes of the human surgeons or the doctors and the healthcare practitioners. So these, how the technology is being developed, that need to be understood. They need to be analyzed today here, and that I'm going to just share my experience with you. So some of the most important components which are used to develop the robots are sensors. They are eyes, because they are ears, because these collects the data and information from the environment and then provide the inputs to the brain of the, because without data or information, the brain will not active, and will not active means the robot will be ideal. And therefore, sensors are essential components. Another one is actuators. These are the responsible for the movement of the robot. Means just like converting the energy, which is giving the which is giving the emotional a push to convert into the, just like rotating the wheel, okay, extending the limb or lifting the limb, or just turning the wheels, whatever, electrical motor or hydraulic system or pneumatic systems or other systems. Then there are controllers. These controllers are nothing but the brain. These controllers receive the data from the environment using the sensors and different sources. And maybe one data is processed and become the output of another system. So that is called process data. And then they enter into the software, which is the resultant of the algorithmic transformation into machine readable format, and then sends the command to the actuators. And these actuators, just like, for example, PLCs, programmable logic controllers, more complex other systems. And there is a fourth control that is called the power supply. Without power, a system will not work. So nowadays we are not only talking the robots, but we are talking the green robots, energy efficient robots. So these are required to have, wireless energy. Wireless energy means solar energy or some other batteries, lithium batteries and others. And other component is the end effectors. These end effectors are designed for the specific task, just like gripping the things, picking the object, welding the arms, isn't it? Or doing a little bit more human-oriented jobs and tasks or actions. And then finally, the structure, which provide the physical support for all the components, means just like a backbone or just like a skeleton of the body, metal or plastic and other composite materials. So these components are usually, I'm not going in deeper because it will be a little tough to cover in the time. So these components are required to design a robot. For example, look at this. This is the assembly line of the robot. And because of, I could be able to download these movies, videos, but I didn't download because this is the violation of the copyright. Therefore, I, inserted the links to directly show you some of the things. Look at this. This is the assembly line. How these components are, is it visible to you? Just like these are the different components and how the assembly is done in laboratories, manufacturing laboratory, where the robots are designed, developed, and try to test for working as a successful robots when they are deployed in the real world scenarios. So coming back to my speech, uh, yes. Now look at. So let us try to understand some of the most important thing, that is robots in healthcare sectors. These are very much nowadays fancy items. Hello? Hello? Hmm. Is that? Let me. Okay. Just a minute. Let me. Now is it okay? PPT, I will share it. Now is it visible? N- Now okay? Black is coming. This now? Now finished? Still black is coming? Still black color is coming? Lightly coming. Not fully full screen. Lightly. Now it's increased. Now decrease? Now decrease. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So now let us look at the points of opportunities, that is applications of robotics in healthcare sectors, along with some of the cracks and highlights of the disruptions. If you look at this, the picture that I am displaying here is there are different type of opportunities that we can explore. Just like to automate the manual processes, to automate the operational processes. For example, a doctor want to do the operations in a particular environment in which the instruments are bigger than the tissue. Instruments are the bigger than the organ of the body. So in that case, you have to zoom, or you have to see the picture in a bigger manner so that you can penetrate or you can hit on the particular section. And nowadays, what's happening in the healthcare sectors, especially with the convergence of the artificial intelligence and robotics, we are trying to develop the nanorobots. These nanorobots are very much miniaturized, and they are having the better capability and better, accuracy and scale to perform such tasks which cannot be done by the devices or the component designed at the molecular level, material level manufacturing. We need to understand in future that we should have the molecular level manufacturing, and those nanobots and nanorobots can enter into the different human organs like arteries, and they can clean. But along with these opportunities, we have certain challenges as well, just like technical, capacity and technical capacity, along with the technical ethical standards. Because when the robot works, robot has no human beings, isn't it? If it does something wrong, a doctor can take the responsibility, but robots will not take that. How we will make the robots responsible for such kind of task which is done against the ethical standards? So for that, across the world, regulatory standards and regulatory mechanisms are very essential. We need to understand. And whenever we are going to use, for example, the healthcare people, those who are going to deploy some of the robots in their laboratories and operation theaters and the campuses as well, they need to understand that these robots are not human beings. So they are performing the task according to the algorithms and the trained data which is provided. Suppose training model data was wrong. For example, you are collecting the data from the different sources, and these sources of the data was not legitimate, reliable. So the wrong data is given to train the machine. Machine means the robot's brain. And this robot brain is trained according to the false data or inaccurate data or incomplete data or insufficient data. Then there will be some sort of, lacunas or the weakness in the system's brain. So when the robot is behaving, it can behave maliciously. It can behave wrongly. So are you going to take the responsibility? So who will take the responsibility for that? Ethical regulatory frameworks must be in place. And each and every country is different in nature. Their healthcare sectors are different in nature. Therefore, they have to regulate and design and develop their own regulatory frameworks. And with just like you can use with the aging population, labor shortage, people, increasing complexity in care. For example, some of the places where the doing the operation by hand is very difficult, or but simple, instruments is very difficult. And in those places, robots are working as a very, very, groundbreaking instruments. And therefore, we need to understand that this is really a great opportunity that we can explore and do in other ways. Yeah. Yeah. So what is the healthcare robots? Healthcare robots are just like systems that can work just like a normal human organs. In future, I have seen what study that we are going to have three things. Number one is love, which cannot be injected into these robots as of now. Love, because love is a natural phenomena. And then we have to understand leisure. Some of the people who are in the old days want to stay and spend their wealth into the hospitals where they are going to be given the highest level of care. So they want the love, they want the leisure, and they want the lust, each and everything under one umbrella. Such hospitals are under, and construction across the world. Even some of the hospitals I know. So these automation applied in the clinical settings, just like surgery, rehabilitation, diagnostic, caring, all those. So hospitals are going to be the nowadays, not hospitals. In future, hospitals are going to be the just like a resorts, healthcare resorts, just like leisure resorts, just like lust resorts, just like love resorts. So this is the challenging or changing dynamics of the robotics. means how the robots are changing the hospitals environment, how the hospitals are changing their environment with the help of robots. But there are certain again challenges of the ethics, there are challenges of the cultures. So these instrument, we can serve very nicely, they can entertain very nicely, they can rehabilitate very nicely, even they can support in telepresence robots in a different way. So nowadays, if you have heard about the concept body area network. Suppose, for example, I am a very important person for the world. I am not. Okay. So I am going to, just like our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam from Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu state. He was our iconic president of India. He was giving the speech in some university, and after that, he just, heart attack, something happened and passed away. In such situations, a person can have a device in the body. This is a small miniaturized robotic device. And this device is real time, in the real time fashion, is recording your heartbeat, isn't it? Your blood pressure, your each and everything. And a mobile hospital is outside the theater where you are giving your speech. If something goes abnormal, immediately it will give you the immediate medication, because there is a small box inside into, it's like insulin it will give you, or a injection it will give you for controlling the heart attack, isn't it? Cardiac arrest or some other things. And immediately the hospital, ambulance which is standing outside can give you the support. So the real-time healthcare support and services can be, made possible nowadays using the body area network or the nearby hospitals. For example, you are going and you are feeling some sort of heart pain. You do not know where the hospital is. So if you are having body area device built in or somewhere put in your pocket, you can find immediately nearby hospitals. And hospital will also get an alert message that particular patient is coming here, isn't it? So hospitals and patients will be connected together in a very well-structured network. So this kind of paradigm shift is going to happen in future as well. Look at this picture. Let me show you a video. This is a laparoscopic. Hello. Uh, Video is playing, but I don't know. Maybe it is playing. Miss here in black. Okay. Let me show one thing. Let me do. Let me offload my slide. Okay, and then show you the video.
Might be a network issue.
Maybe network issue. Let me, let me do this. Will be little being tougher to parallelly run the videos and parallelly run the. Mm. Let me do one thing. I will show all the videos at the end
Yeah, that
by
will be good.
directly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
At
in
the end.
between switching from this to that, is creating some sort of problem because of net or something else.
Okay. Okay.
Now my screen is visible.
Yeah, visible.
Visible.
They
So
will
these
show.
are just like, the robotic instruments, just like, for example, control center, and this is the vision card, this is the patient card, this is the robotic arm, which will work together in a controlled and coordinated manner. Because Firstly, they are assembled according to the specifications, and upon assembly of the robot, when the robot brain is trained, and trained means a brain is having a processor, isn't it? In this processor, we have to, there is a memory in which we have to install the software. Software is already trained. Means software is nothing but a model transformation, because we developed a model how the surgery is being done. And in this surgery, for example, a doctor can do the operations according to his own experience or her own experience. Because he has done 100 or 200 operations, according to experience, he is having the sharp visualization, sharp, and decision-making processes during the operation processes. But when we talk about the robot can be trained by 2,000 doctors' brain, because 2,000 doctors' outputs, isn't it? Laboratory outputs, that is images or the videos, are converted into the, in the format in which the machine can be trained. You know, just like by using the deep learning or the machine learning or some other few short learning mechanisms, and then that robot will work better than a doctor, because doctor is trained or having the experience of 200 operation, but the robot is having 2,000 doctors of the top level doctors, top level of the world doctors, this experience. In that manner, there will be a typical challenge. There will be a typical challenge to the doctors. Are doctors going to be competitive with the robots? Doctors has to think over, surgeons has to think over it, that are we ready, or are we properly prepared for such kind of the challenges which is going to happen in future? Because doctors, definitely, this entire robots training is done based on the doctors, experiences, their data, their, informations. But if the, robot is going to have the better precision, better scale, better accuracy, then that will be a great challenging, for us. So this will be a possible disruption in the future that we need to understand as of now. Okay. This is another robot which can help inside the hospital, just like staff rooms and other rooms as well. This is a humanoid robot which will support the different old age people or the people who are suffering. For example, some people want psychological comfortability, psychological treatment. In that case, if a human robot is there, and especially in the hospitals, such kind of the beautiful boys or girls are providing the services of the healthcare, in the healthcare sector, definitely a feel good environment will, give them better, opportunity and better support for getting them improve their, health issues. When we talk about the opportunity, let me talk about the first opportunity. One is surgical robot, more precise operations, isn't it? I have told you, because they may have better precision, better scale, because a robot can do 200 operation in a day or 100 operation a day, because he has no any challenge of the tiredness. He has no challenge of this, just like family sickness, or he is not just like going to take rest, isn't it? It can do more operation than a surgeon. This will be a typical challenge to the surgeons. So how the surgeon will think over it, and how they will elevate this particular challenge. Less invasive procedures like aggression, tensions. For example, if a surgeon is having some sort of challenge in the family, somebody passed away, or somebody has, some fighting or some other issues, isn't it? And some social issues. These social issues impact the performance of a surgeon. Sometimes he can or she can do something wrong, because this is ultimately affecting the mind, and mind is not in the peace, then something may go wrong. But doctors are not having this kind of, oh, sorry, robots are not having this kind of challenge. In that manner, robots are better. So this is opportunity for the surgeons and doctors. But accordingly, again, this is a challenge as well. Because when the robots will replace the doctors, what will happen? Quicker recovery times, isn't it? And can perform repetitive tasks within a very high consistency and reducing the human errors. Because human errors are because of certain challenges that we try to understand. And these robots can enable the different kind of interventions that might be impossible at high risk. Some of the area where doctor do not want to see or do, or which are not in the, because I am not a professional healthcare practitioner, so I do not understand. But there are several challenges and issues and concerns in the field of the healthcare, and those things can easily be performed and done by the robots. And look at this. This is a special environment where one person, one healthcare professional is just like trying to visualize what's happening over the in the body of a particular patient, and he's trying to navigate the different type of components of the robot, and surgeons are giving the command. Surgeons are giving the command by the voice, and voice is now converted into the command into the signal that the robot is operating accordingly. So in that manner, the robots can not only a assistant, but a obedient assistant along with a very intelligent associates that can perform the task in the healthcare sectors. And for example, nowadays laparoscopic surgeries are being done, and this is very nice surgery because you enter the particular tunnel into the human body, and then each and everything is checked and shown on the screen of a computer, and then accordingly you can give the commands and the tasks are performed, because the task that you are doing by the hand will be not that much accurate and perfect, and then they done by the robotic arm or robotic instruments. In this, one of the most important thing I would like to highlight here is the Google Glass. Google Glass, for example, if you want to make a real live or real time telecasting or broadcasting of the operation of a particular case, then the doctor, when the doctor is watching or doctor is trying to see the particular organ from the particular angle, but the videographer is sitting on the another angle, so he cannot show the same thing that the doctor is watching in his own eyes or her own eyes. In this manner, we need to understand, if the Google Glass is there, the doctor is wearing on the eyes, the Google Glass can capture those images, in not images, the video, directly broadcasting and telecasting in the real-time fashion in future. And that will be the truly a good guideline in real time. For example, one surgeon is doing the operation in India, another surgeon is sitting in, suppose, United States. So United States surgeon is giving the real time commands and advisory to the surgeon who is doing the operation, and he's watching in the real time fashion. So that will be the real time training, real time support, real time services, real time guidance, real time advisory, and that would be the very nice, paradigm shift in the healthcare sectors. And just like I have already mentioned, these are the Google Glass. This is having lots of components, and you need to be hands free. Your voice activity technology. You need not to do anything in this. This is head mounted, and we have seen this is in sixth sense technology. This was miniaturized more, and this was really done. They were doing a very great job. When I was in MIT, I saw the sixth sense laboratories, which was Mr. Pranab Mistry. Pranab Mistry is the Indian scientist. He developed and explored such kind of the system technology, where he was just like head mounted such operations, shown me, and I have physically seen saw these all instruments. So hands-free access to information, just like surgeon can view medical images like CT scans while he's doing the operations. He need not to just divert, just like he's seeing this side and then operation this side. No, directly he can see in the eyes through the record. So X-rays he can directly see on site by eliminating, need not to look at the separate screen or some other thing. So this will be the better input or better support to the surgeons to do the operations and other healthcare exercises. And this will improve the visualization, just like laparoscopic, improving accuracy, precision, scale, and others. So this surgical training and education can also be supported with such kind of the instruments and technological aspects. And doctors can get the real-time remote consultation I mentioned earlier, and communication and documentation. And this is another where doctor is going to do a very miniaturized and microsurgery, in which the Google Glass is effectively used by them. And when they are using the Google Glass, they are just watching those recorded videos, also having the similar kind of operation done by some other surgeon having the higher experience, isn't it? And accordingly, they are getting the real-time consultation either from the record or recorded videos, or recorded, simulation environment, simulated, videos, or by the direct consultation of the surgeons, which is away from the instant laboratories. And another opportunity that we want to discuss here is the access. And just like a robot teleprints care delivery in remote understaffed regions, it will be very nice. And survey reports in the hospital can do the logistic works, supplies, cleaning, transporting the things. But question arises: if they are going to replacing the human staff, then what this human staff will do? This may be a good for us as a technologist, good for you as a healthcare practitioners, but think about the ILO, International Labor Organization perspective, that what they will do, how we can retrain them, how we can redevelop them so that they can be better equipped with the robotic, cleaning process, supply process, and transportation process. So each and every country, even including the hospital, should think over it, because this will be an opportunity. Along with this will be a challenge and disruption as well. And just like example is Moxie robot assisting the nurses, they can, cost saving definitely, but the installation cost and purchasing cost will be very high. Definitely. Let me give you one example in of China. China. There is a Foxconn company in which one evening 65,000 employees were asked not to come from tomorrow. Next day, they ask, your work is now replaced by the robots. 600 robots. 600 robots took the job of 65,000 employees. And after certain 6 months around, if I'm not wrong, 6 months or 1 year, when the productivity of the Fox company was assessed, you will not believe 78% defect rate was decreased, and 200% productivity of the robots were increased. So robots environment, that is assembly, but just like a mobile phone, so that become a very very good business pattern for the business people, and business people are doing the business for the business. They are not for the working for the welfare. So what if 65,000 people are thrown out from the company? What they will do? That is a disruption. So we have to think that how we can retrain, how we can redevelop, how we can reinvent the human generation that can work, because we are making the machines more intelligent, more precise, more scalable, more accurate, more efficient, effective than human generation. Then human generation is need to reinvent themselves, because the challenge will not be only for the small workers. The challenge will also be for the smart workers, that is doctors, surgeons. Because for example, let me give you one example. If you go to the hospital and you are healthcare practitioners, I am going to the hospital, immediately doctor writes the different kind of test, this test, this test, this test. I go to the laboratory and I take the test reports, and then based on the data points which are provided by the test, isn't it, doctor is giving the prescription. What if that doctor is replaced by a small software? A robot is sitting, robot is seeing your body, okay, giving the command, giving the slip to you, go laboratory, take the sample, bring the sample is scanned by the robot, isn't it? And the brain of the robot, which is already trained, is giving you another slip, which is the prescription of the medication. Go to the medical store, take the medicine, enjoy. So what is the role of the doctor? Doctor's role should be, so here the one of the most important thing in human instinct. Human instinct cannot be replaced by the robots. So human instincts are now required to be strengthened, improved, re-established, reincarnated, reinvented, so that the human robots and the human healthcare practitioner can compete to each other to make the environment more competitive and better survival. And just like this is the old person and this is the robot, isn't it? So this elderly people are very happy because the young girls are providing the support and services. Eh, though they are robots, but such kind of the practices and are being used. Another most important issue is the nano robotics. Nanorobotics is the new field, though this is not developed because we are going to miniaturize the things at the 10 raised to the power minus 9, because the nanobots will not be just like watchable from the air eyes, because you are the scientist, you understand. These nanorobots will enter into our arteries, isn't it? And then after entering into our arteries, they can go and clean and bring those, all excess materials to clean your better understand that how we are going to miniaturize our devices. Another opportunity, just like integration. So when we took a future, we look at the future, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, or Internet of medical things, or Internet of healthcare things, or Internet of intranet of things and robotics, they will not work in the isolated environment. They will work together. They will provide the services in a very conducive environment to work for each other. And these autonomous instruments like robotic systems will transform the current or existing state of healthcare sectors into a new smart and robotized, or we can say usually recently my PhD student last Friday got the PhD degree in the EHR systems automation for transforming the hospital in a smart hospital. The end-to-end transformation. End-to-end transformation means each and everything, paperless hospital, isn't it? Consultation, everything is robotized. But the question arises by the examiners, that where is the ethical clearance? Where is the human clearance? Because ethical clearance is okay, you can take it. But in future, human clearance is also anticipated as far as my observation is concerned. So when we are going to deploy the mobile robotic units or home care robotic units, just for example, uh, all things will be interoperable. I am going to the hospital. Immediately, my healthcare record is already stored in the national level data center. And national level data center, my mobile is connected with the national level data center. And when I am having the challenge, either I will inform to the hospital, or I put a message, or a body area network will access or screen my body behavior, isn't it? Hospital is already in alert. Before I arrive to the hospital is ready to give me certain drugs or certain operational support, because each and every component is now intertwined. They are connected to each other. So you need not to just like inform, and you have to sign a parchi, just like a receipt, and give the money here and there. Monies are automatically deducted from your account, because each and every system is interoperable. How the system is going to re-engineer the existing systems. So the end-to-end re-engineering is going to take place using the robots, by the by two most important things. One is integration, end-to-end integration or unified integration of the hospital with robotic supports, and end-to-end automation. And you can develop the customized patient-specific robots, just like 3D printers, robotic prosthetics, and others. So ultimately, we can say we are tending towards a world which is converging from all the dimensions. Convergence means integration, mechanical engineering, hydraulic engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, sensor engineering, healthcare, system engineering is also there. They are trying to integrate to each other and try to support in each other. So we are now going to have the virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. I have recently published in my June, my books published from ET publication, IET publication from UK, you can see conversion, in which I have just written some of the very important things of healthcare sectors as well, that how AR, VR, and MR is going to transform the surgical planning and training, each and everything, by the intervention of the robots. But let us have a 180-degree backside. That is called another look, that are we really on the correct path, or we are going to have the certain challenge in future as well, just like a technical and just like integration challenges issue. There's a complexity, healthcare sectors, because healthcare people are having expertise in a different domain, and engineers are, they have to come closer for mutual understanding, mutual betterment. Reliability of the instruments, because when the data is wrong, whatever instrument robot is perfect, whatever doctor has given or surgeon's data, brain data is used, just like we have a blue brain technology, in which we are trying to discover that how brain can be copied into a hard disk. Hard disk means maybe miniaturized hard disk, isn't it? And then when a person is going to be operated, this operation or her operation is finished. Suppose everything is retained, that is good. If it is not retained, something happens, gone, we can format the brain and we can replace the memory of the brain. That research is under the blue brain technology, blue brain project. And safety robots must be meet very high, because how the robot's behavior can be controlled. As Jeffrey Hinton says that in future, maybe these robots will be uncontrollable, because when they try to mimic by undetermined reactions, undetermined data, manipulations, then definitely we will not be able to control, because so far we have 86 billion neurons in the human brain, and the data nowadays being developed, and trained, we are huge data set, and we are training. Just like, for example, latest research says that this 86 is now very obsolete data, and now we are new discover that more than 100 billion neurons are there. So the deep learning, what we are using the data sets, and we are training our models. Models accuracy, precision, scale, everything is dependent on the data. What if the data is wrong? What if the data is manipulated? What if the data is incomplete? In such case, robots can start taking decision which may mislead the decision making, which will be the dangerous for the human generation. So interoperability with electronic health records, sensor, and others, that is, I have already discussed. Now, challenge two, cost. Yes, everybody want return on investment, definitely. But this will not be a big task, because hospitals are having lots of money, and they can invest it, and they can transfer their hospital towards the automation with the help of the maintenance upgrade. Ethical and regulatory, this is the biggest challenge, because still India has not worked, because recently in June 9, I have written the letter to the Prime Minister of India. I get the acknowledgement committee is appointed, but still ethical use, responsible use, and regulated use. Ethical, human, regulated, ethical use, human use, and responsible use of artificial intelligence. Because ultimately, robotics is nothing but the brain of the AI is the brain of the robotics. So this should be analyzed, and properly we should have a regulatory frameworks. So how it will be responsible, how it will be human, and how it will be ethical. These three tiers are required to be controlled, and accordingly, hospitals should behave. So ethical, patient consent, data privacy, isn't it? Human control versus autonomy, regulatory hurdles. A lot of challenges will take place, but still, we cannot go back. We have to go forward. And in that scenario, we have to understand that what kind of strategy or framework we should have, so that challenges should be minimum, disruptions should be minimum, and the opportunities should be high. And work for issue, I have already told you, a machine can work 24 hours, but man cannot work. A machine can not be affected by any human behavior, or challenges, but machine cannot be challenged by the human can be challenged. And even in the human brain, just like robotic brain, billions and billions permutation and combination can be created by training, isn't it? By training the model. But such a level of scale, accuracy, precision will not be possible in all the surgeons and healthcare practitioners' brain. So how we have to compete? These things need to understand. These factors I will give you. You read. These are some of the, and this is the Nobel-laureate doctor, Jeffrey Hinton, who was the vice president of Google. He says in an economic forum of the American Toronto Global Forum, Toronto, he says that this is my biggest challenge, and I am praying to the Almighty God. He resigned after that, that these things should be controlled. If this will be uncontrolled, same thing was narrated by Elon Musk. So this process starts from here, isn't it? Just like rule-based automation take place in the world was not a problem. Then we started the business process engineering in hospitals was not a problem. Then we start automating labor-intensive repetitive tasks was not a problem at all that time, robotic process automation. But the problem started when intelligent process automation intervened and algorithmic business intervened. Because these things are required to be understood that, the productivity of the machine robots will be definitely very high. The cost will not be that much because doctors needs, the healthcare practitioner need promotions. They want increments. They want salary. The robot does not want anything. They want holidays. They want break in the daytime, lunch, dinner, cigar, coffee, winner, shy, everything but machine. So in that scenario, how you are going to? So we need to understand, that is okay. Intervention is okay. Learning and better learning is also okay. Replacement is a challenge. Replacement should be elevated. So human, if in the loop, that's okay. But human is removed from the loop, that will be a challenging task. Because there are three things in artificial intelligence: human in the loop, human over the loop, and human out of the loop. Human in the loop, it's okay. Human is consulted. Human over the loop is okay. Still human in the loop. But human is out of the loop, then who will justify the decision of the machine, decision of the robots? Because if robot will take the, you cannot put the robot into the jail. You cannot give the punishment to the robot. You cannot just like throw out from the hospital. These need to be analyzed in advance. So multilateral restrictions will be there, just like a privacy challenge will be there, greenness challenge will be there. Everywhere hospital robots will be there. Then we have to minimize the energy consumption in the hospital, because the radiation will also affect, because each and every instrument will have certain electromagnetic waves. So if these electromagnetic waves will collide, another fold of studies is required. Robotics disruption, learn, design, and replace, that I have already discussed. And man machine disruption, because earlier days, do we look at, we were having the operating system to control the devices, just like whether it's electronic devices or the hospital computers, all we were having character user interface. But we were using the computer by command. There was no mouse. There was no Windows operating. Then a new operating system came that is called GUI, graphical user interface. Then we were doing clicking here and there, and the work is being done. Then we another fold of work came into existence, and another era came where we have started a voice user interface machines. Voice based means we are giving the command, isn't it? And machines are working accordingly, because voice is converted to the text, and text is converted into the command, and command is giving the signal to the brain, and brain is giving the signal to the different part of the robots and working accordingly. But in future, another fold with CUI, character user interface CUI, then GUI, graphical interface, then VUI, voice user interface. Then there will be a MUI, mind user interface. Whatever you are thinking in your brain, robot will act accordingly. When this era will come, definitely robotic will transform the whole world. There will be a challenging, there will be opportunities. You have to think, you have to work together with the technologists, like scientists like us, and other healthcare. So there will be a performance, there will be ethical, all these things I have already discussed. Let me come to the, this is, robotics, 375 million by 2030. This is not my data, this is the study. You know, workers will be expected to switch jobs by digitalization and automation in the hospitals and including the hospitals. 74% of industry leaders expect widespread adoption of AI and robotics, and 40% jobs will go up. And this is the another issue, that the GDP impact of AI and robotics through 2036, you see, 2003, $15.7 trillion. So this is the business pattern. I'm very much excited. I'm very much enlightened. I'm very much, happy. But I have to think that I am the part of the society where doctors are living, healthcare, other lower skilled peoples are living, and we all are living. So are we going on the correct pathway? This is up to you. I have given you both the pathways, 180-degree front, 180-degree back. By 2023, these will be the job replacement statistics, second highest in India. And this is the, though ILO guy rider, ILO chief has said, oh, this will be a great opportunity for the people. Yes or no? But saying is different and working is different. So the radiation will be everywhere in the hospitals. We have to have one fold data term will be the data storage, data security, data privacy, because robots will ultimately sending data, receiving data, storing data, using data. There will be a huge amount of data set. Even cockroach is moving here and there. Cockroach is also a catalyst for data creation, because robot is capturing its movement and data is created. So data will not be in kilobyte, it will not be in megabyte, it will not be in gigabyte, it will not be in terabyte, it will not be in petabyte, it will not be in zettabyte, it will not be in yottabyte, it will be in quintillion. How will you store? How will we maintain the privacy and security? And the nature of the jobs will change. You have to reinvent. We have to reinvent, everybody, including me. We have to reinvent in the era of artificial intelligence robot. If we will not reinvent ourselves, definitely we will not be in the position to survive. Technology affordability divide will create. There now we have digital divide. Later on we will have skill divide. Later on we will have talent divide. Later on we will have different divides. So divides will create a lot of other challenges. So UK 35%, that is leave it. So the new paradigm shifts, because in the last 60 years, cleaning process is now started. The reinvention of the human generation is, you have to create a creativity environment using your vulnerability. Robots will be less vulnerable, human will be more vulnerable. Therefore, humans' vulnerability will require to be created into the creativity to retrain the robots. That's I am telling you the very deep insights of the researchers here. And the instinct, human instinct, is very powerful tool that human surgeons have. This human instinct is required to be explored, is enhanced, empowered, isn't it? Because this is the convergence of several attributes which is not available in the robotic brain. So this is the turning point of the threats and the opportunities, isn't it? And this training, uh, human is developed for the Purusharth, and Purusharth is finished, then there will be challenge. Because scalability, machines are more scalable than human, isn't it? Isn't it? So you have to develop a new rule engine for yourself. We have to develop ourselves. And surrendering in front of the Google and AI will not be a good. We have to very carefully take the robots, transform the human jobs, and slowly we should go by parallelly developing our own instinct and capacities. Because life of the machine, with, for example, a child take birth, after that 25 or 30 years it takes to become a man to take decision. But a machine can be, robot can be cloned in a day, or in 4 hours I can clone a machine. One robot is died, I clone another robot and I can work. So a child take birth, 30 years, 25 years take to become a surgeon, isn't it? How he can compete the machine which is cloned in a day? because it will be better in speed, it will be better in capacity, it will be better in scalability, it will be better in efficiency, it will be better in functionality, it will be better in the data accuracy, it will be better in many things. So how we have to challenge that? This is the book. You can read the book, Rise of the Robots, Technology and the Threats of the Jobless Future in every sector of the world. And the robots will be honest because we sometimes may not be honest, isn't it? But robots will be honest if the data is honest. Robots will be, because garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage. If the data is wrong, the robots will mislead the operations in each and every task. So AI's wiseness are also required to be elevated, because if a robot which is purchased from a country like China, and if that robot is trained by a biased data, and we are deploying in our hospital, definitely this will mislead the operation. This will create a challenge, because you cannot see the data which is used for training that mind model of the robot. So you have to be very careful, and you have to have the capacity to train that model, isn't it? First you have to develop your own model, then you have to train that model by your own data, and data should be transparent. Integrity must be maintained in creating, curating, sampling the data, and then you should establish or inject into the brain of the robots. Otherwise, robot will do something else. That will be the responsibility of the surgeon who is giving the prescription to use the robots. So robots has the potential to help humans make spatial decision, but only if carefully worked with the fairness and AI. And just like, see, our honorable prime minister, a biased Indian say the prime minister Modi is a fascist. Maybe somebody will say he's a fascist, isn't it? So this is called a biasness. Just like nowadays, everybody is using, this LLMs, large language model, Chat GPT, Google Bart, Gemini, DeepSeek. These for review literature people are using. I'm shocked and saddened because I'm the developer. I can understand how they are working. I just demonstrated in my keynote speech in Buchamo University, and I told, when I am asking the system, LLM, large language model, just like a chat GPT, it is doing the review literature for my research, and whatever links, references it is providing to me, out of these links, 80% links are fake. And they seems they are legitimate, they are real, but they are fake. So you have to be very careful. Do not be trusted, because Industry 5.0 has introduced the human robot collaboration by the cognitive system customization in 2020. We are entered already in Industry 5.0 and we cannot go back. So we have to be very careful. So these human aspects are required to be reconsidered while we are using, adopting, designing, developing, deploying, training the robots. Environmental aspects should be considered. Employment aspects should be considered. Security, privacy aspects should be considered. Because according to the Stephen Hawking says, after 1,000 years, we cannot live on this earth. Maybe in 100 or 200 years, we will finish. We will not wait for 1,000 years. And this is the era of the technological singularity. And technology singularity is nothing but uncontrollable, irreversible world where the unforeseen changes to the human civilization will be out of the control. And we have a Digital Data Protection Act in India. We have cyber security regulation in India. But the humanity protection bill is required to be, passed by Indian Parliament. I'm going to write to the Prime Minister of India. And finally, reinvent yourself, reimagine yourself, isn't it? And redevelop yourself, redesign yourself, recreate yourself, and challenge the challenges to elevate the disruption of the technology. You are very happy with the robots, okay? That's your life. But don't forget this. Are we on the right path? This is also another way. This is the front 180 degree. This is the second, isn't it? So I have given you lots of ideas according to my experience, isn't it? I think you took some ideas and I transformed them into words, actions, and you have to make them practices, and habits in your professional domain. This is what I make conclusion half red and half green. Thank you very much for listening me patiently, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I wanted to show you the videos, but you can see these videos. I have covered everything, and I have on every video I have given the link. When you double click on the photo, directly it will navigate to the YouTube and it will show you. Thank you very much, Professor Raja, and thank you very
Thank
much
you,
for
Sharma
each
ji.
and every.
Thank you, Sharma ji, for your wonderful presentation. Participants, any queries are there? Kindly make it fast. The session is going to end. If any queries are there, kindly make it fast.
I finished 4 minutes before, sir.
Okay, no problem, professor. No problem. Okay. So no queries? Okay. So my heartfelt thanks to our international resource person, DP Sharma ji, for his outstanding contribution to our Atal online FTP. The session on robotics in healthcare offered truly a global perspective that is highly insightful for all the participants. We highly value your expertise and look forward for future collaboration, Professor Sharma ji. This is not the end, this
Thank
is the
you.
beginning.
My
Okay.
pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Professor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Shall I
Thank
sign
you.
out?
Yeah, you can sign
Officially,
out.
thank you very much. Have a nice night, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharma ji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Ah, ஆமா 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 இருங்க இருங்க நான் சொல்லிடுறேன் தருண். ஆ, ஆ. Dear participants, the link will be closed by 9:05. Kindly fill the Google Forms, feedback forms. Okay. Again, will not be resent in the WhatsApp. Kindly, those who have not filled up, kindly fill the Google Forms. It will be extended up to 9:05. Thank you.